This quarter of Football Magic is proudly presented by Atico LP Gas Conversions.
And welcome back to Waverley. You're on Magic 693, the Mitre 10 big game. The Pies are out on the ground. The boys there just seeing if there's been any major changes to the Collingwood side.
Doesn't look like, KB. It looks like they're as selected, although a few of the blokes still got their tracksuit tops on, but it looks at this stage they're as selected. And
the bounce is only about 4 minutes away. The captains have yet to toss the coin. Rain is tumbling down here. Kecker, we saw Hawthorn play in these conditions against Richmond. They didn't seem to handle the conditions that well to me. That day only straight kicking kept them in the game. And I just wonder their style of play of kicking the ball out in front and running onto the ball and going through Dunstall just not suited to these wet, slippery conditions.
No, a valid point, Kevin, and let me tell you, the calibre of the opposition will be no different because the ferocity and tenacity of Collingwood will fully test them. Obviously inclement weather, and it's a deluge here at the moment, and it's not going to be conducive to fast play-on football.
Good crowd, though.
It's an excellent crowd. Oh, well, look, the resilience of the Melbourne sporting public, you could never deny it. Just absolutely magnificent.
There's 50,000 or more here.
Yes, there would be in that vicinity. Certainly looking around the bleachers, the top deck at the outer stand are all full. A sea of brollies all around us, and it's just a fantastic sight. But Kevin, I believe Paul Callery made a very, very pertinent point. He said a game that will directly, or the winner will be the side that best equips itself or commits itself to the 1%ers. You know, the tough, hard-nosed knock-ons, the playing in front, you know, the basic principles of wet weather football.
Can I ask you a question, Sammy, harping on that 4-day break the Magpies have had with the wet, heavy ground? Obviously, it takes a greater toll on your legs. Will that perhaps be a huge advantage to Hawthorn coming in the last quarter?
And another good point, quite conceivably so. But you've got to understand coaching these days, a very sophisticated trade, Stephen, in as much as player management is a critical part of that makeup. And the Brains Trust at Collingwood will invariably monitor the players' output and their freshness and their physical status at the time. And I'm sure Lee Matthews would have, and you heard Shane Kerrison say that they had a relatively light week. It was a refreshing sort of week, get their legs fresh, and you know, it was just a stimulating week for them. So I don't really believe that the 4 days will really be a factor. I'm sure that they would have preferred to have the 5 or 6 days. But all in all, I just believe that they'll dominate through the midfield. I think Monkforce will be too ferocious and physical in the midfield and give them first use of the ball.
Let's go to quarters because he's been watching the toss.
Yes, Gavin Brown. Gavin Brown is on the toss, and he's kicking to the small scoreboard end. And notice Dermot Brereton in a long sleeve jumper, and you can count the number of times he's worn a long sleever on one hand in his career.
Well, I must say, as a player, as a coach, I never could understand players, and there's Tony Shaw. He's the runner again today. He fired him up
He'd be
last week
very dirty on that, wouldn't he, today?
But I could never understand why players never wore long sleeves in really wet conditions. I always used to play in short sleeves, but on days like today, always don the long sleeves. It just might mean the difference between an easy chest mark, just being able to hold the ball that little bit better. And I see Paul Callery, the count there, giving me a nod of the head. But just to me, it's a professional thing to do. Some players just get so used to playing in short sleeves, no matter what the conditions, they won't change. Craig Lambert up in Brisbane, he's one guy who really plays in long sleeves, whether it's 30 degrees or whether it's 3 degrees. But here we are. We've got umpire Carey with the ball in the centre square. We've got Jarman pushing and shoving with McGuan. Umpire Carey, a close eye on that. We've got out on the centre wing position here. Nathan Buckley's been picked up by Alex McDonald, so a tagging role there. We've got Dunstall down in the square. Who's got the job down there? Chris Siska's got it. And he's thrown the ball up here at Waverley. And in goes Monkhurst. Now taps the ball further forward. Chance now running on the ball is Pritchard. Has to kick it off the ground. That'll be the first of many soccer kicks today. There's number 2 coming through there for Hawthorn was Tony Woods, playing against his old side there in Collingwood. And the ball goes over the line out of bounds for a boundary throw-in on the outer side of the ground. So we've got the Pies kicking down towards the Police Road end. Hawthorn towards the main scoreboard, and at this boundary throw-in. Once more, we've got McGuan there with Jarman. Going up high is Holland. Taps to the front of the pack, taken by Jarman, slung to the ground. Here's a chance, Mick McGuan. Also, he's been dispossessed. The Rats over the top there, Johnny Platten. And once more, we've got a ball up. There'll be a lot of ball ups today. A lot of players kicking the ball off the ground. And we see big Severio Rocker down there, playing at full forward. And playing on him is young Jonathan Robran. Come into the side to replace Langford. Chris Langford out injured as we see the ball coming around here, and the mark's been taken by Graham. Kicked down by Tallis. So Graham on centre wing position, comes away, kicks up towards the true centre half forward position. Jason Taylor sets himself. Monkhorst from behind punches the ball. Here's a chance, Mick McGuan. He's been bowled over by Jarman. Chance for Wilder, kick off the ground for the Pies. Drove from the half-back flank down towards the half-forward line member side. Coming in, trying to pick the ball up down here is, let's see, that's young Crawford down, Tony Woods that is. And Tony Woods just thumps the ball over the line and out of bounds. So we haven't got a score on the board. We've played a minute and a half into the Mitre 10 big game out at Waverley, and you're listening to Magic 693, and here's Stephen Quartermain.
In the ruck is James against Nick Holland. Slapped out by James. In there's Scott McGuinness. The ball at half forward for the Magpies. Players again dive on top of the footy. It'll be another ball up. They haven't gone almost 2 minutes in this first quarter.
Interesting, a couple of tags, Quarters. Kevin alluded you to a couple. But in fact, Tallis has got Buckley, McGuan and Jarman, Dunstall and Krasiska, which you mentioned, and Hassel on Platten.
And
interesting one.
Houghton got that ruck knockout. It's picked up by Jarman. Pumps it to half forward for the Hawks. Taylor got a push out. Play on, says the umpire. Monkhorst is almost doing a roving job there. Handballs to Richardson. Richardson to half forward. Brereton in front of Jenke. Jenke's got the job on Dermott as he did when Hawthorn played the Sydney Swans last year, and Brereton's taken the mark 55 out. He's gone short. Rocker's in front, and Rocker was allowed too much latitude by Robram, and Rocker's taken the mark about 40 metres out directly in front.
A very intelligent play by Brereton. Gave the impression that he's going to kick long on goal, and a deft skill there, just chipping short.
And that is terrible marking by Hawthorn, because sitting in the forward pocket almost is Hassel for the Magpies. So that is undisciplined football by the Hawks, and Hassel now will kick from about 35 metres out, and again the angle is not too severe. So John Hassel comes in, shoots for goal, drop punt, and it is right through the middle. So the first goal of the match goes to Collingwood on the Atico gas conversion scoreboard. It's the Magpies 1 straight goal, 6 behind. Hawthorn yet to score. We've gone 3 minutes in the first quarter.
And I'll tell you the intelligent part about that passage of play, Quarters, was that Hassel, as I mentioned, was tagging Platten. But it just shows you the intelligence of the tagger. When you've got the ball, tagging's not your priority. Your priority is to slot yourself into a hole if it presents itself, or be another option. And he wasn't worried about Platten because his side had the ball, and on that occasion, it proved correct.
Monkhorst in the ruck against Holland. Monkhorst got the ruck down. Chance for Jarman to kick it off the ground. He can't do it. Slapped forward by Williams for Collingwood. Coming through half for the Hawks is McGuinness. He kicks it off the ground. Should be a free kick to Monkhorst, surely. Oh, play on, says the umpire. That was a terrible decision. Definitely a free kick to Monkhorst. Play on, says the umpire. Taken by Cooper. Cooper now kicks the ball to within 50. Looking for Dunstall. Looks a little bit proppy. And coming there and seeing the ball over the boundary line was Craig Kelly. That had to be a free kick to Monkhorst, Sam.
Totally concur with you, Stephen. But then again, the umpire deemed it fair and equitable.
On the forward flank here for Hawthorn. Kelly playing his 100th game for the Pies today. We've got Taylor against Monkhorst. Monkhorst, 2 big taps down. James tries to come through for the Pies. Gets the ball back towards Burns here. Gets the ball back towards Kelly. So Kelly has his first kick in his 100th game down towards Buckley. He's got Tallis on him. Buckley recovers well onto that left boot. It's on centre wing position, member side. Chance there for Rowe. Collins is in there. His 150th consecutive game for the Hawks. What a great performance. Gets the ball out to Jarman. Can't get his boot to the ball. In comes Platten. Now he's bowled over. Hassel's over the top of him, and we've got a ball up. On centre wing position. This is going to be a tough game today. Tough conditions for both sides. And we've got Collingwood. 1 goal, 6 points. Hawthorn yet to score. That's on the Atico gas conversion scoreboard. And from that throw up, the ball punched forward down here for Collingwood by Trent Houghton. But it's kept into play. Out comes now Brereton. Just got Jenke out of the way, but can't recover quickly enough because Woods dives on the ball. He's been caught. He has to handball quickly. Gives it across to Jarman. Away from the half-back flank, member side for Hawthorn. Kicks up, looking for Graham. Right from behind went the punch. Can't take the ball. Out here also is Crawford. Pushing and shoving on hands and knees is Platten. Here's a chance now. Coming on the ball once more is Crawford. But the ball this time bundled over by Houghton. It's tough fight here at Waverley. Both sides. Really slippery conditions, hard to handle the ball. There's going to be a lot of one-on-one contests as we have this boundary throw-in. On centre wing position, Monkhorst from behind, taps to the side of the pack, defensive side, over the top once more. Chance for Hassel, once more, knocks the ball towards the boundary line, and it slides over for a boundary throw-in. Here's slamming Sam Kekovich.
Yes, Kevin, you summed it up well. It's just going to be a tough, hard slog, and it's absolutely imperative that you be in front, because if there's ever a doubtful free kick or the umpire wants to break it up, you'll invariably pay to the man in front.
The ball in front of the members on the wing, thrown in. No one can really get a decisive knockout. Holland gives a handball to Cooper. Cooper kicks it to half forward. Caught behind is Simon Mitten-Connell. Watson's there for Collingwood. Tackle without possession. Play on, says the umpire. And this time Mitten-Connell sees the ball over the line. Half forward flank for the Hawks.
Let's go around the grounds. Let's go out to Ricky Nixon at the MCG.
6-minute mark of the first quarter. Greg Williams hasn't taken his place in the Carlton side, but North Melbourne lead by 4 points. 1 goal straight, 6 to Carlton, 2 points. Barry round at the Optus Oval.
Played 7 minutes in the first quarter here in Essendon. 1 goal, 1-7, leading from Kilda 1 goal, 6 points. Back to Matty Rendell, Swans and Adelaide.
Just started here at the SCG, Kevin, and no score registered by either side.
Back here at Waverley, Paul Hudson's taken a fantastic mark, courageous mark at half forward. Dunstall was impeded, should have been a free kick. Great tackle by Krasiska, and the umpire will throw it in. Again, that had to be a free kick to Dunstall, but umpire called play on, so it's even the ledger, and it's a throw in about 35-40 metres out from Hawthorn's goal, members' side. Up goes the ball. It's Graham in the ruck against Monkhurst. Graham got the knockout, taken by Burns. Little handball to Graham Wright. Graham Wright kicks the ball to the wing, but taking the mark for the Hawks on the chest is number 2, the Norwich rising star last week, Nick Holland. Holland plays on straight away and found some space at half forward as Taylor can't pick it up. And good desperation play from the Collingwood captain, Gavin Brown. He knocks it over the line for a throw-in. Half forward line for the Hawks.
God, there were 2 efforts there by the Collingwood leaders, in fact, Gavin Brown and Gavin Krasiska. Yeah, it was fantastic, his defensive skills on Dunstall, and Brown there forcing the ball over the line.
And you mentioned Nick Holland. He was the winner of the Nomad Telecommunications digital phone last week as the best player on Magic 693. And we see the rain tumbling down here. Trying to win the ball is Graham Wright. Kicked off the ground by Graham. So now it's inside 50 for Hawthorn. Chance now is Mitten-Connell running after the ball. Tries to soccer it back. It may have been over the line. Yes, it's been called out of bounds. And we have a boundary throw in some 30 metres around from goal. They're going to earn every cent of their money today. And look at Tony Shaw. He looks like a brown rat already. Fair dinkum. Can we get brighter colours for the club runners? That iridescent lime green. It is so sickly. Why we've got that colour, I'll never know. Here's Platten on 50. Kicks the ball back into the goal square. There's Dunstall there. It might have bounced through. It's bounced back. It might be in play on. Now, umpire...
He stopped play. He called play on and stopped play on.
That was umpire Peter Carey, one of the most experienced umpires in the game. He was going to play advantage because a free kick had to go to Dunstall and the ball bounced back to Mitten-Connell, who was going to run into an open goal, but it was such a bad bounce he was unable to take the ball, so he has recalled it. And that's the instructions the umpires are under at the moment in AFL football. If it's not an advantage, you can recall the football. So Dunstall is shooting from only 5 metres out. He's on a slide angle. He should pop this one through. And Jason Dunstall from point-blank range has missed. Well, it looks easy, but under these conditions, the ball is so slippery, it's hard to keep your footing. And I think, Sam, that, look, probably no excuse for missing because he was only 5 metres out, but sometimes under these conditions, a little bit tougher than dry weather.
Yes, somewhat trying and testing, but gee, that is a rarity to see Jason Dunstall miss from 5 metres.
So Gavin Krasiska kicks the ball out looking for Monkhorst. Got a hand to it, but play on, says the umpire. Monkhorst now diving on the ground. He still can't pick it up, but he's still in possession. Good work by the big fella. There's Cooper for Hawthorn. Likes these conditions. Turns on the right foot. Now a high ball just to within 50. Kelly's there, so is Mitten-Connell. Slapped away. Here's a chance for Graham. Kicks the ball off the ground into the full forward area. Dunstall backing back, just can't take the mark and is through for another behind for the Hawks. So they move to 2 straight behinds. Collingwood, 1 straight goal, 6 points, and we've gone almost 10 minutes in this first quarter here at Waverley Park.
Hawthorn doing very reasonably well around the packs, actually. Collingwood just struggling there at the minute, and we saw that the case on Anzac, though. They took a while, their midfielders, to get into the game.
So Gavin Krasiska brings the ball back into play. He chooses the outer side on this occasion. Over the head of Williams. There's Jarman for Hawthorn trying to pick it up. He does just that. Good tackle by Kelly. Jarman gets a quick kick to the ball, and taking the mark for the Hawks again has been Cooper. Paul Callery, his stats so far in this quarter.
5 kicks, Steve.
So he has been a busy player. Cooper's kicked to half forward. No one can mark. Burns gets a little handball to Williams. Williams kicks over the side of his body, but a whistle's blown on play. It's going to be a free kick. Despite the fact it could have been an advantage to the Magpies, umpire Carey has said, no, bring the ball back, and it's going to be a free kick at half-back for the Magpies by Burns.
Well, correctly called, Quarters. That's where the advantage should have been paid, but Unfortunately, Kerry didn't see it.
So Burns kicks out wide, looking for Wild out there, couldn't take the mark at ground level, picked up by Woods, gets the ball back here, twisting and turning is McGuinness, comes out of the pack, shades of Baryshnikov there, the ball just kicked off the ground and diving forward there is Taylor, no mark paid there, and we're going to have a ball up. So umpire number 14, I reckon it's great that we've got umpires with numbers on their back, that's Mark Nash, and he is going to bounce the ball.
And we should give them ratings as well, Kevin.
Well, that's what was suggested yesterday on Magic 693, so you can rate the umpires after the game, Sam, because you are a umpire hater.
No, I'm not a hater. I don't hate. It's not a part of my vocab. I dislike and dislike intensely, but hate, no.
The umpires have to throw the ball up. It's so slippery. Oh, my goodness. Still a big pack of players on the outer side of the ground. The ball's going nowhere at the moment. Here's a chance now. Woods paddling the ball along the boundary line. Out there also sliding along is Crawford. And the ball just trickles over. It's still on the half-forward flank for Hawthorn. A good 75 metres on the outer side of the ground. And the Hawks are kicking down towards the main scoreboard. Let's go around the grounds to the MCG to Ricky Nixon.
Thanks, KB. It's a 12-minute mark of the first quarter, and Carlton lead by 2 points, 139 to North Melbourne 117. Barry at the Optus Oval.
Yes, 12 minutes mark in the first quarter. Sorry, Essendon 4-1-25. St Kilda 1 straight goal to Matthew Rendell.
Adelaide leading by 8 points here, 139 to the Swans 1 point. Back.
Thank you, Matthew, and the ball is deep in Hawthorn's attacking zone. It's just been pushed over the boundary line. It's going to be a throw-in out of side, almost next to the behind post. So the Hawks into attack. They trail 2 behinds to Collingwood's 1 straight goal, kicked by John Hassel early in the game. In the ruck, it's Minton Connell against Monkhurst, taken by Richardson. He gives a little handball to Watson, who clears for Collingwood. In fact, it's a very good kick, about 50-55 metre kick. Tallis is there against Buckley. Oh, diving on top of it was Jarman, and that's a bad decision because Jarman just slid, and he's given it round the shoulder to Buckley, and I don't know if that's Sam. I reckon that was a poor decision again. That's number 3 already today. The ball's kicked to half forward for the Magpies. Holland overruns the ball. There's Rocker. Good work by Rocker. Gets past Robram. Now can the big fella pick it up? Shepherd off the ball by Brereton was good. Now Rocker with the gloves. Does pick up the footy. Handball's over the top. Taken by Robram now. He can't pick it up. Players diving on top of the footy. It's right in Collingwood's goal square. And the umpire will come in and ball it up about 5 or 6 metres out from the Magpies' goal.
That was poor defensive play by Hawthorn. Had the opportunity to rush it through for a minor score.
And speaking of that, Sam, Nick Holland must have had a radio in his ear because he's done just that. Slapped it through for a point, concedes to behind. So on the Atico gas conversion scoreboard, it's Collingwood 117, Hawthorn 2 behinds.
Okay, let's go to the count to see what's been happening on paper. It's pretty wet and slippery out here, so there'd be a lot of 1%ers.
10 to the Woods, 5 to the Hawks, but Monkhurst is dominating 7 knockouts to 1.
So we've got here Collingwood coming away. It's Wright gets the ball back here to Mick McGuire, who kicks the ball down into 50. Oh, backing back is Nick Holland. This kid's an absolute find.
Yep.
Made his debut last year. He's already won a Nomad Telecommunications Player of the Day. He's starring already in this first term. So Cooper comes away from Hawthorn, hugs the boundary line, the member side, kicks out in front, and there's a good overhead mark to Graham. Plays on quickly, gives it back to Crawford. Could be the old 1-2, but no, he goes further field, and backing back here is Jason Taylor. A good 75 metres out. Dunstall's on the lead. Now he leads. Now he goes back. Now he goes forward. Dunstall's out in front and got it. Well, it was great play by Dunstall. Krasisius picking him up. Gary Pert hasn't taken his place in the Collingwood lineup. He went, he stopped, he propped, he went back, then he made the lead, and Taylor just put the ball out in front. So Dunstall is marked. He's missed an absolute sitter early in this quarter. He missed from 5 metres out. He's directly in front, kicking from 40 metres. So Dunstall moves in. The drop punt is on its way. He doesn't miss 2 in a row. So the skipper here for Hawthorn has popped it straight through the centre. So at the 15-minute mark of this opening turn, the Hawks have hit the front. 128 points. Collingwood 117. Here's Slamming Sam Kekovich on Magic 693.
Well, it's just been a tough, hard slog, Kevin. You know, it's a game of yardage, almost resembles rugby league. But on that occasion, skill level just went up a notch. And it just shows you in the big open space of Waverley, if you get quick ball movement, then the opportunities present itself because the midfielders cannot get back to close off the corridor that was on display there, and Dunstall led very cleverly into a hole, straight up the middle.
So the ball back in the centre. It's Holland against Monkhurst. Holland got the knockout, but kicked off the ground by Jarma to half forward for the Hawks. Right there for Collingwood. Picks up the footy. Good skills in the conditions. Handballs back to Ned Kelly, playing his 100th game. Oh, he handballs to Richardson. He spills the beans. In there for Hawthorn. Oh, could have been in the back against Kelly. Play on, says the umpire. Now Williams on the wing, out of side for Collingwood. He can't pick it up. Little kick off the ground by Buckley. In there for Hawthorn is Woods. Woods offloads the handball. Here's a chance for Crawford now. He picks it up, goes short, and finds Cooper, who marks the ball on the chest. So Cooper right in the centre of the ground here at Waverley, been probably the best player on the ground in this first quarter so far. He goes short to half forward, and he finds Raiden Tallis, who's got the tagging job on Nathan Buckley this afternoon. Holland making some space. Good running by Holland. That's where he goes. He's going to be right on the 50-metre line. So Nick Holland takes the mark smack bang on 50. Angle's not too bad, but Jibby, good kick in these conditions to get a goal.
Yes, and Buckley's attacking skills, we all know his offensive skills, a very brilliant attacking player. But his defensive skills at times leave a little bit to be desired, and on that occasion, I'm sure he'll incur the wrath of Coach Lee Matthews.
So Nick Holland kicking for about 51, 52 metres. There's the kick. It's into the goal square. Midden Connell's there. Monkhurst gets a fist to it, and it's over the line for one behind. So we've gone 16 and 3/4 minutes here at Waverley, and it's Hawthorn 139 leading Collingwood 117. Here's Paul Callery.
Steve, the Hawks have had 33 possessions at this stage, the Magpies 15.
Yet the margin just 2 points. So Hawthorn had a lot of the play, but can't convert too well at this stage. Krasistic the kick out, chooses the outer side. Graham's in front, he can't take the mark. Good roping by Wright, avoids Cooper. Now gets a handball over the top to Williams. He's tackled by 3 Hawthorn players. Good hunting impacts by the Hawks. Pritchard there, coming through hard was Hassel. Play on, says the umpire. Now a kick to half forward. Monkhurst is leading the race for the footy. He's got about 10 metres on the nearest Hawthorn opponent. Monkhurst gets the ball, kicks it to half forward. It's slightly off the side of the boot. Now trying to pick it up is Houghton. He's tackled by McGuinness, and the ball goes over the line, half forward line for the Magpies. Collingwood trail by 2 points, 7 points to 9. Let's go round the grounds. Ricky Nixon at the MCG.
Pretty tight game here, 17 minutes into the first quarter. North Melbourne lead by 2 points, 2-1-13 to Carlton, 1-5-11. Barry at the Optus Oval.
18-minute mark of the first quarter, and it's all Essendon 5-2-32, leading St Kilda 1 straight goal to Matthew Rendell.
Halfway through the first quarter here, and Adelaide lead by 7 points, 2-3-15. Swans 1-2-8. Back to Waverley.
Okay, and the ball is smack bang in the centre of the ground, and Graham Wright comes out from Collingwood and thumps it back into 50. Brereton goes up, punched away by Jenke at ground level. Kicked off the ground here by McGuinness. It's still on 50. Punched away here, this time by Collins, and the ball goes over the line and out of bounds. Well, we've got 139 Hawthorn. That's on the Atiko gas conversion scoreboard. Collingwood at 117. We've played 18 and a half minutes into this first quarter. So the ruck battle. Down here is Holland. Pushed out of the way that time. The ball just hits the deck. Coming through strongly here is Pritchard. Picks the ball up. Being a Tasmanian, you just absolutely revel in these conditions today, as he did against the Tigers, but Burns at ground level. Gets the ball back to Monkhurst. Building the wall across half-back. Big Monkey just steps around. Down here, gets around Hudson and kicks the ball back. Brereton up high. Big pack of players. Oh, Holland there. Was it Holland claiming the mark not paid? Coming away with the ball is Brown. The Collingwood skipper was on hands and knees. Down there is McGuinness. He's hurt. Very slow to get up off the ground. Holland got up very, very high. Was that a mark, Sam?
No, it wasn't, but Brereton was up. It was a pack of players, big leapers there. But Holland, a notable high flyer. Very impressive youngster.
So umpire Nash throws the ball up at ground level. We see now Pritchard just pushing the ball along, picked up by Williams. A good clever kick back inside 50. Chance for Rowe. He's on the ball, gets it across to Mick McGuan. 35 metres out. Quick snap. He's off target and through for 1 point. So on the Atiko gas conversion scoreboard, Hawthorn 139, Collingwood 128. We've played 19 and a half minutes into this first term. And we see Jonathan Robram, kicking out for Hawthorn side, replaces Chris Langford. Punch to the front of the pack. Here's Williams of Collingwood. Pounces on the ball, goes back towards Brereton, went through his legs like a tunnel ball. Chance down there. Woods paddles the ball along, and he just forces the ball over the line for a boundary throw in only 10 metres around from Collingwood's goal. Let's go to slamming Sam Kekovich.
Well, Kevin, it's absolutely futile in these conditions, trying to chip the ball short and finding a target and threading a passage through some traffic. The idea is to kick long, and actually both sides have endeavoured to do that. Kick long down the corridor, shortest way home, and get yardage.
So Rocco wins the tap out at ground level. Here's a chance. Woods gets dispossessed for Hawthorn. On hands and knees down there. Big pack of players. Underneath it is the skipper, Gavin Brown. And once more, we've got a ball up. This time, 30 metres out, directly in front of Collingwood's goal. Brereton being picked up by Ray Jenke, playing against his old club for the first time in Collingwood colours. Running onto the ball is Mick McGuan. He's going to run into an open goal. He's kicked it. Mighty Mick McGuan read that brilliantly off the pack, swooped on the ball, and from 15 metres out, popped it through. So the Pies, on the Atico gas conversion scoreboard, move to 2-2-14. They lead by 5 points. The Hawks are 1-3-9. Let's now go back to the MCG. Here's Ricky Nixon.
21-minute mark here, KB. Score still the same. North Melbourne 2-1-13, lead by 2 points. Carlton 1-5-11. Barry round at the Optus Oval.
22-minute mark of the first quarter. Essendon 5-3-33, leading St Kilda 1-1-7 to Matty Rendell, Sydney.
Adelaide by 15 points here, 3-5-23. The Swans 1-2-8. Back to Waverley.
Ball kicked to half forward for the Hawks, now picked up by Graham, has a long shot at goal. It's offline and through for one behind. So the Hawks move on to 1-4-10. Collingwood at 2-2-14. Sam Kekovich.
Yes, that goal to McGuan. I have no doubt it was a set drill. Rocker did superbly well in the ruck there, getting a ball down, and some inept Hawthorn defence. But it's a bonus for Collingwood when Rocker's in this rare form where he's willing to contest and put his body in. It allows Moncourse to patrol the midfield and form a barrier across half-back, and Rocker can do the forward line ruck work.
So Francisca puts the ball back into play, kicks it to the outer side, half-back line, but Craig Kelly pushed Graham right in the back. There was nothing discreet about that, and it was a certain free kick. Graham now for half-forward for the Hawks. Chooses to go to Dunstall in the forward pocket, but it's off hands and over the line for a throw-in about 25 metres out from the Hawks' goal.
Look, I've been impressed with Kelly this year. I think he's been a very consistent performer for Collingwood across half-back, but he just committed a bad indiscretion about 5 minutes ago where instead of kicking long, he handballed to a stationary player that had his back to his goals.
So it's Moncourse in the ruck against Mitten Connell. Moncourse won that easily, taken by Watson. He handballs over the top. Now sharked by Williams. He kicks it to Jarman. Jarman should be a free kick. Play on, says the umpire. Taken by Platten. Platten has a long shot at goal. Backing back. Oh, great mark. Great mark. It's Hudson. That was the second fantastic mark Hudson's already taken today. Now, he's got fantastic skills close to goal. He's right on the boundary line. He'll be kicking from about 15 metres out, but Hudson has got great skills and wouldn't surprise me if he threads this through. Hudson now plays on, runs around to his right. There's the hook kick, and it's through the middle for the Hawks. Second goal here at Waverley Park. So Hawthorn now hit the front, 2-4-16. Collingwood 2-2-14. We've gone 23 and a quarter minutes here at Waverley Park. Here's Sam Kekovich.
Yes, well, you've picked it out. You picked it correctly. Quarters Hudson, a very intelligent player. He plays Waverley so superbly, relishes the wide open spaces. On that occasion, marked hard up against the boundary line, ran out to take the angle out of the equation and threaded through. What, under the circumstances, quite a difficult assignment, but he made it look relatively easy.
Okay, let's go to the count. Here's Paul Kelly with what's been happening on paper.
KB, Johnny Platten's getting into the game now, 6 possessions, and also Paul Cooper, 7.
So from that centre bounce, players come in from everywhere and just fall on top of the board. There's Platten underneath the pack. How many possessions to Johnny Platten, Paul?
6, KB.
Yep. Well, they haven't been long possessions because there really been little kicks off the ground and some handballs inside the packs. But he is at the bottom nearly of every pack as we see McDonald taps the ball back along the ground. They're skidding in underneath the ball once more. Hard game to umpire as well. And we're still smack bang into the centre of the ground here at Waverley Park. We've got Collingwood kicking down towards the Police Road end, Hawthorn towards the main scoreboard, and the Hawks are 2-4-16. They lead by 2 points. The Pies 2-2-14. 24 and a half minutes played in this tough opening term. Here's Platten there, peeling for the free kick, not played over the top. That's got to be over the shoulder. So the former Brownlow medalist takes the free kick. He's on the edge of the centre square. He's going to send the Hawks into attack. Lex to kick the ball to the true centre-half forward position. Underneath it is Moncourse there. Bounces off Graham's head. The ball comes back here to Tallis. He's going to kick the ball off the ground. Goes up to where Watson's there. Out comes Dunstall. Paddles it between his legs. Great play, but Mitten Connell can't take control. So Collingwood rush the ball forward there as it trickles over the line. And a boundary throw in his quarters.
Well, that was very clever play by Dunstall, but Simon Mitten Connell twice now he's had, I know it's a wet day, but twice he's had enough time to pick up the foot, and he can't do that. These conditions certainly don't suit Mitten Connell.
So it's on the 50-metre line on the outer side of the ground. Monkhurst goes up, thumps the ball an extra 15 metres around the ground. In comes Williams, helps it over the line. Pritchard's appealing that it was deliberate. But we've got another bounce, another throw in on centre wing position. So Big Monkhurst been playing across half back for all this entire first term, building the wall. And we see Taylor for Hawthorn trying to take that front position. Over the back came Graham, but tapped down, picked up by Wales for the Pies. Comes away, kicks the ball back towards the wing on the outer side of the ground. Big pack of players there. Holland was in there for Hawthorn. Over the top is James. Kicks the ball off the ground. Here's the chance now. Diving on top of it out there is Collins. Can't take control. Players are really throwing themselves in over the ball. This is tough conditions. Oh, Jarman with a bit of skill picks the ball up one-handed, but he's thrown to the ground. Unfortunately, the conditions today, you don't get the pats on the back for doing those wonderful, skillful things, because whilst he picked the ball up, he couldn't get his footing or get away, couldn't twist and turn. So, unfortunately for Pritchard, his great piece of play went unrewarded. From this throw-in once more, ball up, we see another big pack of players. So let's go back to Paul Callery and find out who's been the major possession getters for both sides.
Well, Paul Williams with 5 for the Woods, also Mickey McGuan with 5, whereas Cooper 7, Graham 6, and also Platten 7.
So from that ball up, Platten make that number 8 as he kicks the ball along the wing on the outer side of the ground. Williams comes out, handball's back taken here by Richardson, kicks Collingwood back into attack. It's inside 50. Collins running onto the ball for the Hawks, playing his 150th consecutive game today. Fantastic effort by the back pocket player. Was once rejected, went to Sandringham, and then the Hawks brought him back. Here's Stephen Quartermain. You're listening to the Mitre 10 Big Game on Magic 693.
So the ball in the forward pocket for the Magpies. It's still teeming rain here at Waverley Park. It's Holland against Rocker. Over both their heads. Picked up by Jarman. Left foot kick to half back for the Hawks. Thumped away from Graham by right. Comes into the hands of Hudson. Hudson gives it to Crawford, who's steaming through the centre square. Kicks it to half forward. Oh, Watson missed the mark. Now a chance for Midden Connell. This time he picks it up. Gives it to Taylor. Taylor on the left foot. Just misses. Took the wrong bounce. An off break instead of a leg break. And it's through for one behind. So the Hawks 2-5-17 lead Collingwood 2-2-14. Let's go round the grounds. Ricky Nixon at the MCG.
Just gone quarter time here, Steve, and the scores are level. North Melbourne 2-1-13 to Carlton. A bit inaccurate, 1-7-13. Barry round at the Optus Oval.
28 minutes gone, and Essendon getting the start they'd hoped for. 7-5-47, St Kilda 1-1-7 to Maddie in Sydney.
And the same for Adelaide by 26 points, 5-5-35. Swans 1-3-9, Modras kicked 3. Back to Waverley.
Thanks, Matthew. The ball's made its way to the wing position, taken by Tallis, and he kicks it to half forward. An excellent mark taken there by Burns for Collingwood against Hudson. He was under duress and stuck out the one hand, and then it stuck. Now he kicks the ball to the wing. In front's Hawthorn. Tries to knock it over his head. Brown's in there. Does well. Taps it to Nathan Buckley. Nathan Buckley now kicks to within 50. Rocker's there against Robram. Good spoil by Robram. But Rocker's in front, trying to pick up the footy. Good use of the body by Rocker. But the Hawthorn defenders have got the numbers there. Now a chance coming through there as Williams for Hawthorn. Holland dies on top of the footy. Puts it between his legs. And the siren blows to end the first quarter here at Waverley Park. The first quarter going 28 and a half minutes. And on the Atico gas conversion scoreboard, it's Hawthorn 2-5-17, leading Collingwood 2-2-14. The goal kickers in the match for the Pies, John Hassel and Mick McGuan, while for the Hawks, Paul Hudson and Jason Dunstall.
Yes, and
If you're looking for a place with a friendlier face to shop for your family, the kind of store where smiles cost no more, then we've got what you're looking for. Farcy's friendly feeling, and we just want to say, Farcy's friendly feeling, you're welcome every day. Farcy's friendly feeling, Farcy's friendly feeling.
After hours of training, the water feels like sand. My mind keeps me going, but when my body needs help, I bring Powerade Thirst Quencher. Powerade gives back power to hard-working muscles.
Powerade Thirst Quencher. You win the mind game, we'll take care of the body.
Will receive $100 off their conversion. The phone number 584-5644. Atico. Finance is available, so call now 584-5644.
No wonder everyone can't wait until the weekend, because this weekend you'll save heaps with Mitre 10's weekend specials. There's the Arlec Tudor Sensor Coach Light for just $39.95, save $35. Get 2 cans of Selly's RP7 for only $5 and 2 potted camellias for only $5. Plus you can turn your portable drill into a bench drill with our amazing stand. It'll only cost you $19, so you'll save $10. Save heaps this weekend. Yes, you can at Mitre 10.
Hi, I'm Jason Dunstall. We need all Hawk supporters to take out a 1995 membership now. Your contribution is our survival. Purchase a membership at Waverley Park today and receive free entry to our 8 remaining home matches, an opportunity to buy finals tickets, a free benefits book valued at over $350, plus 2 great bonuses. You'll also receive a free entry ticket to our away clash against Essendon at the MCG Friday, June 23, and a free John Platten poster. Join the Hawks in 95.
This quarter of Football Magic is proudly presented by Mitre 10. Do it yourself? Yes, you can with Mitre 10.
And welcome back to Waverley. Well, the quarter-time huddle, Lee Matthews there, very strong to his players, just trying to really rouse them for this second term. Peter Knight's also, yes, here's quarters.
Yeah, Scott McGuinness has gone off injured. He's limping, and Paul Deere has come on for the first time in the game at quarter time.
So umpire Dennis Rich throws the ball up to start the second term, and first kick out of the centre there goes to Pritchard for the Hawks. Kicks it out towards the half-forward flank. Richardson's in hot pursuit. It's 2 against 1 down there. Kelly's in there playing his 100th game for the Pies, along with Crawford, and the ball is kicked over the line and out of bounds. So it's on the half-forward flank. For the Hawks, they're kicking down towards the Police Road end. Dunstall has kicked 1 goal, Hudson the other for Hawthorn. For Collingwood, singles to Hassel and also to mighty Mick McGuan. And we see Platten comes away from that throw-in, kicks the ball back inside 50 over the top of the head. Mitten Connell once more overruns the ball, trying to kick the ball off the ground down here. Was Hudson unable to do so there, slipping and sliding. Max Merritt would know a song about this, and there's a big pick up here by Graham and a quick snap, and he's missed. What was that song, Sam? Slipping and Sliding by Max Merritt and the Meteors?
Slipping and sliding. That's exactly what the players are doing, and it was a good call by you, Kevin Bartlett. There was about 3 or 4 indiscriminate kicks off the ground, knocks on, but in the end they should have done a lot better, because Mitten Connell, I thought, did very well palming the ball out, and it was a relatively easy miss, Quarters.
Certainly was by Graham.
Let's go to the count, Paul Callery.
Certainly Platten's dominating with 9 possessions at this stage, KB.
So Chris Siska kicks the ball out towards the member side. Holland up there, got his hands on the ball, but the Sherrin was too slippery. Comes to ground. At ground level we see Pritchard. He bundled over there. Big pack of players. I tell you what, they're not frightened today to put their bodies on the line. And we have a ball up on the half-forward flank for Hawthorn member side.
Kevin, if you recall a couple of weeks ago in a similar contest under similar conditions, only four goals were scored by a side. In the context of things with a 5-point lead, Collingwood can ill afford to concede one now and get to 11-point deficit because it's very difficult to make up.
And Platten with a magnificent pickup. He's tried to keep the ball in. He's been bundled over as he's kicked the ball, and it goes over the line, out of bounds on the full. And unfortunately, you don't get rewarded on a wet day like this for that wonderful skill that Platten showed in picking that ball up with one grab. Here's Stephen Quartermain on Magic 693.
So Watson brings the ball back into play, kicks it to half back. Monkhorst just slaps it further, almost to the wing position. Collins is in front of Rowe, and Collins will see the ball safely over the boundary line for a throw-up. Just Hawthorn's attacking side in the members' wing.
And Collins is a wonderful example of how to play wet weather football. Invariably in front, runs low to the ground, and plays the percentages. Kicks off the ground.
And Monkhorst got that knockout from the throw-in. Kelly's in there battling hard. He can't pick it up. Crawford dies on top of the ball. So does Collins. It comes out now. But the umpire was caught on the blind side as McGuan picked it up and handballed it to Williams. So those stats don't count. And the umpire will ball it up right in front of the members here on the wing position. In the ruck, it's Deer against Monkhorst. Monkhorst, who's dominated the ruck knockouts, gets that tap, but it's taken by Deer. Graham's backing back with courage. Can't take the mark. Shark by Buckley. Buckley now kicks it to almost a half-forward position. Well done by Gavin Brown. Takes the ball. Orchard's on the ground for Collingwood. He's in front of Woods. Orchard's held without possession. Should be a free kick, and it is. And Orchard, good play, off and running straight away. Jeez, quick over the ground. He drives the ball quickly to full forward. Brereton's there. Can't take the mark, but he's in front. Handballs cleverly to Rowe. Rowe should goal, and he does. It just sneaks in. Great play, Brereton, and Rowe just sneaked it in for a goal. And that'll please John and Gary Nicholson, big Collingwood supporters here this afternoon. Collingwood 3-2-20, leading Hawthorn 2-6-18.
Well, that was vintage Brereton, not vintage Brereton, but he made light of the conditions at ground level. That was unbelievable pick-up for the big man. He actually bent from the knees, and there was one grab, and on these conditions where Kevin Bartlett was alluding to, skill level is at a premium, traction's at a premium, players finding it difficult to retain their footing. That was a brilliant passage of play.
So Monkhorst gets it down where we see Williams picks up his kick and he goes into the arms of Mick McGuan, who kicks quickly back inside 50. So here come the Pies. Brereton just slides and just glides onto the ball. Now the ball's pushed out here by Alex McDonald, and he kicks it back towards the half-back flank. Coming through there for Collingwood is Jason Wild, and he's happy to see the ball trickle over the line.
It's been a wonderful bit of chemistry, that Collingwood forward line. The Brereton-Rocker marriage, it really is starting to pay dividends.
So from a boundary throw-in, we see Holland takes the front position against Houghton. The ball comes to the back of the pack. In there is Alex McDonald. Quick kick. Goes back towards the edge of the centre square. Out comes Graham. Takes the mark. Gives it across to Pritchard. Now he gives the ball back here. Running away with the ball is Crawford. Throws the ball onto the boot. But there's no one back there for Collingwood except Wild. Wild comes through with Watson. Where's the forward line for Hawthorn? Wild there. Picks the ball up. Make that Burns. Now with a quick kick. Just thumps it out of the danger zone. Back inside the centre square. Picked up by Taylor. Gets it across to Cooper. Being strong across half back. Kicks the ball back to the edge of the square. Chance now. Coming out is Minton Connell. Takes the ball. That's his first kick, I think, Paul. Gets it down to Hudson. He's on 50. Great smother down here. A diving smother by Burns. And the ball ricochets over the line and out of bounds. In the forward pocket for Hawthorn. They're kicking down towards the Police Road end. And on the Mitre 10 scoreboard. And yes, you can with Mitre 10. Collingwood are 3-2-20. The Hawks are 2-8-19. Here's slamming Sam Kekovich, then Stephen Quartermain.
Well, certainly a danger man for Collingwood is Paul Hudson. I said he loves the spaces here. Great skills. And Scotty Burns certainly got a big assignment to keep the lid on him.
Deer grabbed the ball out of the ruck but couldn't get a foot to the ball. Now taken there by Richardson. He kicks the ball to half-back out of side for the Magpies. Jarman leading Mick McGuan on the race for the ball. Great skills by Jarman. Picks it up. Handballs over the top to Raiden Tallis. Great skills. You would have thought it was a dry day then. Hudson in front of Burns, can't mark. Good desperation again from Burns. He sees the ball over the line for a throw-in. About 45 metres out from Hawthorn's goal. Out of side, small scoreboard end.
In these conditions, fitness may well be a factor at the end. It might be a game of attrition. And certainly they will be telling on Mickey McGuan's groin. So these conditions were absolutely ripping them out.
Deer got the knockout. Williams is battling in there hard, and Deer clumsily falls over the top of him. And no doubt about that. That was a free kick to the Magpies, and getting up a little bit slowly was Paul Williams to take the kick.
And the importance, Stephen, again, of being in front. And the umpires will pay them, even if they're marginal.
So Williams kicks the ball to the outer wing position, but again, Nick Holland takes a very good mark. He plays on straight away and chips the ball to Pritchard, who plays on quickly. He gets a little kick to Jarman. Jarman trying to fix his moment to grab the footy. He does now. Oh, the umpire said you've gone out of bounds. Jarman's not happy with it. Crowd hooting, but impossible to tell from here. But Jarman was off and running. An opportunity lost for the Hawks.
That was clever, Steve, in these conditions. Very few players got those skills.
Monkhurst got the ruck knockout, taken by Platten. Little handball to Tallis. Tallis now centres the ball to half forward for the Hawks. Here's a chance for Richardson, but he slips over. Now he gets a little handball to Watson. Crawford's in there for Hawthorn. Watson dives on top of the footy. So does Graham. Umpire will come in and ball it up. 45 metres out from Hawthorn's goal, directly in front.
Paul Callery, great. The stats on Platten, we've spoken of, but also Crawford. Crawford's been busy.
Yes, Sammy, 10, 11 for Platten. Crawford has had 8.
Okay, well, it is absolutely teeming down here at Waverley Park. Tough conditions as Wright comes away with the ball. The former Tasmanian pops up and Mick McGuan's been poleaxed. That put him under tremendous pressure. He's tough as nails. He's getting up. He's hobbling.
Fraught with danger too, KB, centering the ball prematurely in these conditions.
Can't take
Very
the
lucky.
kick. Gives it across to Williams, so he thumps the ball a good 45 metres down to the half-forward flank. The back of the pack down here for Hawthorn was Taylor. Can't take control. In over the top there is Young Orchard. And we've got a ball up on the half-forward flank for Collingwood, and that would have hurt Mick McGuan. The ball was just popped up in the air. He was a sitting duck. So Dennis Rich throws the ball up on the half-forward line. Houghton goes up for the Pies. Taps the ball to the ground, but the ball now has just been knocked further afield, and it just runs over the line.
I just see Monkhurst just patrolling that half-back line and in the centre, reading the game. Of course, when you're playing a loose man in defence, it's not just a matter of dropping yourself as an extra person. You've really got to read the game to make sure you're effective across there.
So Platten once more ground level, and the ball goes over the line. Still 65 metres around from Collingwood's goal. Let's go back to the MCG. Here's Ricky Nixon.
10 minutes into the second quarter here, and scores are level. North Melbourne 2-2-14, Carlton 1-8-14, Berry at the Optus Oval.
9-minute mark of the second quarter, and Essendon still lead. 8-6-54, St Kilda 2-1-13 to Matty at Sydney.
Just started the second quarter here, and Adelaide lead by 28 points. 5-8-38, Swans 1-4-10. Back to Waverley.
And on the Mitre 10 scoreboard, Collingwood 3-2-20, lead by 1 point. The Hawks at 2-8-19 to, let's just check that scoreboard. Okay, let's go back here to Stephen Quartermain.
Oh, that tough and willing quarters.
The scoreboard down at the Police Road end is not working properly, but it's 2-6. They've got up 2-8, but it's 2-6-18. They trail by 2 points.
And Graham got poleaxed off the ball, but it was totally legitimate, and he's up and running. He's okay. Ball thrown in 50 metres out from Hawthorn's goal, out of sight, almost in front of the small scoreboard. Taken by Williams for Collingwood. Little right foot kick to near the wing position. Brown's in front of Holland. Should be a free kick, but too high to Brown.
Great recovery.
Umpire, but he recovers very well. Gives the handball to the running Hassel. Chipping in there for Collingwood is James. I think that's on the ground. Now coming through hard again is James. No, it's Houghton. Houghton handballs over the top. He gets it to Hassel. Hassel now runs into within 50. He's going to kick from 45, but he slips over and almost a mark to Jenke, but play on, says the umpire. He slaps it away. Now a little quick chip for goal by Orchard, but he's offline and through for one behind. Mick McGuan not too happy there. He was running down the middle of the ground looking for the pass. He was by himself, but the Collingwood player and Houghton didn't see him.
Let's go to the count Paul Calorie and check on the 1%ers, because both these sides doing all the hard things today.
30 to the Hawks, 26 to the Magpies.
And Rowe, a little chip kick into the forward pocket, but there's no Collingwood players there. Taken by Robram. He kicks the ball out, but the mark's taken 55 metres out from goal by Paul Williams. Too far out to score. Williams goes short and finds just the bare 10 metres there, and Graham Wright is right on the 50-metre line, but again, it'll be a pretty special kick to kick it from here today with a wet footy.
Oh, yeah. Not within range quarters, and the ball, as you know, in these conditions gets heavier and heavier, and that's where players have got to show a bit of intelligence. The ball's only going to travel 35, 45 metres in these conditions, so it's no good getting right back where you would on a normally a dry day.
So Wright looks like he's going to bomb the ball long and hope for the best in the goal square. There's the drop punt. It's a beautiful kick. It's almost onto the goal line, but just marked just before. It would have been a point at best, but the mark's taken by Nick Holland about 5 metres out. Oh, Robram, I beg your pardon. Right on the about 5 metres out from their defensive goals. No, in fact, it is Nick Holland. So Holland. Deep in defence, kicks the ball to the half-back outer side. Monquist from behind, gets the thump away. There's Jarman, good hands, gives a little handball to Taylor. Jason Taylor now kicks the ball into the centre. Kelly's in front of Deere. Play on, says the umpire. Burns is behind the pack. Picks up the footy, now pumps it long again to half forward as Jason Taylor there by himself, and he takes the safe chest mark. Taylor now plays on straight away, decides to switch play to the member's side, looking for, almost finding there was Crawford, but Cooper's there to lend support for the Hawks. He picks up the footy, touches it on the ground, now swings onto the left boot. Oh, Collins chipped in, got a hand to it before Buckley could get to it. Little 1-2 by Platten was almost successful. Braden Tallis now taps the ball in front of him, now kicks the ball off the ground. It's to within 50. Dunstall's there trying to get the front position. He does. He puts it out in front of him, but coming through, great skills, Francisca. Great smother by Tallis. Another kick off the ground by Francisca, and it's into the hands of Nathan Buckley, who kicks the ball to the outer wing.
And out on the outer wing of the side. Mark's been dropped here, but he's paid it. It's going to Tony Woods. And put down that 1%er to Braden Tallis, Paul. That was a wonderful smother as Woods, playing against Collingwood, his old side, started his career at Fitzroy as he kicked the ball back towards that 50-metre mark. Mick McGuan's there, cross half back, gives it across to Watson. So the Pies out of trouble, kicks up towards the edge of the centre square. Coming out, maybe that mark could have been paid, but Williams of Collingwood elects to kick the ball off the ground. In there once more is Taylor, been strong across half back, on hands and knees down there. It was Collins, the ball's been taken away by Orchard. Gets the ball back, here's a chance. Rowe of Collingwood's touched it on the ground. He's run to 50, he's gone short, and Brereton's marked. Dermot's mark. The kids came out. He hugged it to his chest, and he's shooting from 40 metres out, directly in front.
Well, great vision, Kevin. Great vision and great skills by Rowe. A lot of players, as we often say, just indiscriminately shoot for goal from there. Quarters?
I'd be taking Mitton Connell off and bringing on a fresh man, Sam.
So Brereton's kick is not on target and has gone through for 1 point. Very difficult to kick under these conditions, Kecker.
Oh, yeah. Well, we spoke about it early. 35, 40 metres maximum in these conditions. And you've got tremendous foresight, Steve Quartermain, because as we speak, Mitton Connell is coming on, and of course, Stevenson's coming on for his first run of the game.
So we see the Hawks kick the ball out towards the point of the square. Wright pounces on it for Collingwood, twisting and turning, gets it back to Burns. A very impressive player, Burns, for the Pies. Onto the left boot. It's a high ball back over the top there was Collins. Couldn't take it for Hawthorn. At ground level, it's been picked up here by Woods. Gets it out to Platten. He's been in everything. He comes away the rat and goes short and gives it across here to Cooper. Another star for the Hawks. He comes away from the half-back flank, runs to the edge of the centre square, kicks on the left boot, down towards Jarman down there, but he was hanging on to his opponent, mighty Mick McGuan, and McGuan will take the free kick. He'll play on quickly. Look at him go, like a startled rabbit. He's off and running, kicks the ball down, once more to the edge of the centre square, but off the hands of the pack. Pritchard pounces on it, gives it back to Holland, bang! In comes Mick McGuan, dispossesses him. Pritchard has to hit the ball along the ground. Stevens is a fresh man, but look, I tell you what, he won't be fresh for long because he's just been bundled to the ground. Holland kicks it off the ground, another sliding kick off the ground by Crawford. In comes Platten, bundled to the ground, crash, bang, flexing the muscles, blowing up the bicep. Sensational stuff out here at Waverley. Here's Paul Callery. He loves these 1%ers.
I do, but it's 6 free kicks to the Woods this quarter, none to the Hawks.
So the free kick, it goes to Wild for Collingwood. He comes away and kicks up towards the true centre-half forward position. Could have been nearly a mark. Couldn't take on the second grab by Houghton at ground level. Tallis takes it, gets the ball out to Woods. Starting to get a few touches now. Handball's out wide. Oh, Cooper just couldn't handle it under the conditions, but recovers well. Now kicks the ball high, back to the edge of the centre square. Oh, coming out was Stevenson, been bundled out of the way. Look at Pritchard burying up the ball. The Brat's got it. Platten, he's off and running. He runs to 50. This could bounce through. It's going to bounce. It has! Platten has kicked a great goal for Hawthorn. What's his stats, Paul, because he has been a star?
12 kicks, 2 handballs, 1 goal, KB.
Okay, let's go around the grounds. Here's Ricky Nixon at the MCG.
17-minute mark of the second quarter. North Melbourne lead by 2 points, 3-4-22 to Carlton, 2-8-20. Barry round at the Optus Oval.
16-minute mark of the second quarter. Essendon 10-7-67 leads St Kilda 3-1-19 to Matty at Sydney.
Adelaide by 32 points here, 6-8-44. Swans 1-6-12. Back to Waverley.
Ball back in the centre. It's Holland against Monkhorst. The Hawks lead 24 to Collingwood 22. We've gone 16 minutes. And Sam, a fantastic goal for Platten, but perhaps you reckon he took just a couple too many steps.
Well, he's been an inspirational player, Platten, and a wonderful individual performance, but certainly the umpires lenient in their interpretation of the 15 metres. He ran 45, I counted.
Williams got the ball for Collingwood, thumps the ball to within 50. Rocker's in front of Robert. Rocker almost could have been paid out on a wet day. In fact, he has. Well, it was touch and go, but on a wet day. What do you reckon, KB, Mark?
Didn't hold the ball. He nearly took it on the second grab, but he didn't take it.
Well,
what do you reckon, Sam?
Well, I think the umpires can extend their benevolence in their interpretation to that extent. I thought he had enough purchase in extremely trying conditions, and bearing in mind, providing they retained the uniformity of interpretation.
We're just looking at the replay, G. It was a very suspect one.
It was, I agree, but providing it's uniform.
Anyway,
look at this Collingwood supporter here. He is absolutely laughing at you, Keggett, by saying he's thrilled that they've paid that mark to Rocker.
Rocker's got the mark, and he has a shot at goal, and he has kicked 1 point.
Listen to the
Perhaps just deserves, say the Hawthorn supporters. Anyway, it's all academic now. Hawthorn 3-6-24, lead Collingwood 3-5-23. We've gone 17 and a half minutes in this second quarter here at Waverley Park. Collingwood yet to win a game in season 95. They drew on Tuesday. Perhaps today is their day. Ball kicked to half-back for the Hawks, taken by Jason Taylor. He swings onto the left boot and kicks the ball further afield where it should be a free kick to Graham. It is. And the ball will have to come back.
The very crude attempt by Watson to contest on that occasion just ran slap bang into him and knocked out his front fender.
So Graham kicks the ball to the wing where the mark's taken by Jarman. Jarman now drives the ball to half forward. Very hard to concentrate sometimes with you in the box, Sam. Dunstall tries to take the diving mark, but he can't. Now Krasiska clears for Collingwood. Kicks the ball into the centre, but a fantastic chest mark taken by the Rat, Johnny Platten, who's now BOG.
So John Platten, he's smack bang in the centre of the ground at Waverley. Who had their fender bent then, Sam?
Well, the guy over there, I think it might have been Graham over the other side. By gee, it was Cullis.
Needs some panel beating, that's for certain, but Platten's mark kick has been marked by Holland. A very impressive player, gives it across the Crawford. Getting off the ground there very gingerly is Kelly, but he gets the ball across here where we see the ball's long kick down into the goal square. That time, good play there by Dia. Started the game on the bench, but through for 1 point. Here's the count, Paul Calorie.
KB, a magnificent marking performance by Nick Holland. He's had 6 grabs in these conditions.
He took 12 marks, I think, a couple of weeks ago.
Well, he's one of the most improved young players in league football.
Truth journalist?
No, that's Chris Hollow.
Chris Hollow, sorry.
Close, Sam.
That was pretty close for Kicker. Got the kick out. Here is the Wild of Collingwood. Look at Cooper comes in, forcing the ball towards the boundary line. Good play by Williams. Keeps it on the half-back flank. Back to mighty Mick McGuan. Great vision and skill. Gets it out to Wild, who comes away and runs to the wing position, member side. Kicks it down. Brereton's out in front, but the fist of Jenke gets there first. Picked up here by Alex McDonald. Nearly slips over. He kicks the ball, but Mick McGuan, he's been great, Paul. Give us his stats as well. He takes a bounce even. Great confidence by Mick. Gets it back to Wild. Touches the ball on the ground. Platten's in hot pursuit. The kick's on its way. Setting himself down there. Couldn't take the mark. Was Brown. And the ball's been rushed over the line. 40 metres around from Collingwood's goal.
A couple of great shepherds from D. Brereton there, Sammy.
Yes, the 1%ers. Yes.
Let's go to the count, Paul Calorie.
Mighty Mick has 8 kicks, 6 handballs, KB.
Been great, McGuan.
We've played 20 minutes, and on the Mitre 10 scoreboard, we've got Hawthorn 3-7-25, Collingwood 3-5-23, and the Hawks defence standing up well in this last 5 minutes as we see Rocker slide onto the ball. Can't take control. Going in there is Buckley. I'd like to know his stats too, Paul, as he gets us out to Orchard. He's hard up on the boundary line. Hooks it around. Brereton's out. He's taken a ripper. That's a slip catch that Rod Marsh would be proud of. That was a sensational mark under the conditions. Orchard hard up on the boundary line. Brereton read the fact that he was kicking the ball around his body. It was going to drop short. Had the anticipation, and Dermot Brereton has marked directly in front, and he is kicking from 20 metres out.
Yes, KB, wonderful use of the body, and of course all the goal and experience he's built up over 14 seasons of football are really paying dividends here today, because Jenke, a seasoned campaigner as well.
So Brereton moves in 20 metres out. The drop punt is on its way. He has missed.
Is that Dermot's third behind Paul or second?
Second behind.
He's had 2 set shots which he's missed, both very, very kickable. both coming from good marks, but unfortunately for the Pies and the kid, he can't convert. Here's Stephen Quartermain. You're listening to the Mitre 10 big game on Magic 693, and we've played 21 minutes into this second quarter.
Rotherham kick chooses the members' side and almost over the boundary, but well kept in by Moncourse at half forward for the Magpies. Brown gives a little handball to Williams, but he's caught, and it'll be a throw in about 75 metres out from Collingwood's goal. They're kicking to the major scoreboard in this second quarter, and we're on the members' side.
Yeah, would desperately like one before half-time. Of course, their last goal was scored at the 3-minute mark of this term.
So in the ruck, it's Hawthorn against Holland. No one can really get a decisive knockout. Now Nathan Buckley, he spills the ball at half forward. Taken there by Orchard, gives a handball back to Richardson. Richardson now goes short and finds Burns is at half forward for Collingwood. He kicks it to within 50 and the pass is excellent. Hits Mick McGuan on the chest about 35-40 metres out from Collingwood's goal. On a reasonable angle, but it's certainly kickable.
He's been Collingwood's best, undoubtedly. Paul Callery.
Sammy, Scotty Burns is doing very well. He's had 6 kicks, 5 handballs and 2 marks.
Yeah, he's been a good stopper. Well, he's got the big job on Hudson. Hudson can single-handedly swing a game, and he's a potential match winner, but Burns has been good after a slow first quarter. And McGuan?
Hudson hasn't had a touch this quarter.
Good point. McGuan, more importantly.
9 kicks, 6 handballs, Sammy.
He's done some heavy work in the clinches, thrown his body at random.
I've just seen Dermot Brereton pinch Nick Holland's bottom in the goal square.
Having a raise your glass.
Is that a 1%er?
Oh, could be. Depends where you're brought up. Now, Mick McGuan has kicked one in the first quarter. Has a shot at goal, and it's offline and through for one behind, and Nick Holland has just been initiated to football Dermot Brereton style. 23 minutes gone in this second quarter. It's Hawthorn 3-7-25, Collingwood 3-7-25.
Yeah, all tied up. And one observation I've detected during the course of this first half, Hawthorn just look a bit more polished up forward when they're running into attack, as opposed to Collingwood, who are kamikaze and bombarding.
So Tallis takes the ball for Hawthorn in the back pocket and kicks it out towards, we see Big Monkhurst comes out, does well to control the ball, kicks the ball back short looking for James, but it gets smothered. Then Monkhurst comes back, slides on top of the ball, gets it out, but Nick Holland takes it. Very mobile Nick Holland gets it out here, and a free kick is going to be paid, and it's going to Hawthorn. And the free kick is going back here to Crawford. Let's go around the grounds. Ricky Nixon, MCG.
25-minute mark of the second quarter, and it's Carlton by 7 points, 3-11-29 to North Melbourne 3-4-22. Barry Round off the Oval.
24-minute mark of the second quarter, and it's Essendon by 67 points, 13-8-86, and Kilda 3-1-19 to Matty at Sydney.
Bad kicking here also, Ricky. 6-9 Adelaide 45, leading the Swans by 25 points, 2-8-20. Back to Waverley.
So Watson takes the ball for Collingwood and kicks it back out towards the half-back flank on the outer side of the ground. And I'll be very interested, Paul, when you give Brereton stats after the game to see what you actually put down that pinch on the bum to Nick Holland under what stat. That could go under job harassment, I reckon. That could be a new one for the AFL to look at if they catch that on video. And Monkhurst goes up, thumps the ball, 25, make that 30 metres with a carry. Chance now for Crawford, great pick-up. Played a lot of footy at Assumption College down there in Kilmore. It's like this every day in Kilmore, wet, raining, cold, freezing, and we see a big pack of players, but coming out with a ball is the Tasmanian Pritchard. He loves these conditions, just pops it out in front. Holland can't take the mark. In fact, the ball carries over the line on the full. So Hassel to take the free kick. He's on the half-back flank for Collingwood. They're kicking down towards the main scoreboard, and Hassel comes in. He's had the big job on Platten, who's been a star. Kicks the ball down. In front of the pack there was Houghton, punched away by Taylor of the Hawks. At ground level, over the top was Crawford. Comes back to Platten once more. Gets the ball and kicks it around the body. Back there to the wing. Comes out is Richardson. Gives it across here to Watson. So Collingwood defence working hard. She kicks the ball up towards the 50-metre line. Out there is Brereton. This time trying to go. It's holding the man. Brereton must get that free kick. Oh, not paid. That was a definite free kick.
Couldn't agree with you more, Kevin. A blatant holding off the ball.
So 55 metres out from Collingwood's goal. We've played nearly 26 minutes into this third term as Platten gets another kick, Paul. Put it down towards the front edge of the centre square. Chance now for James of Collingwood. The swoop on the ball. Gets the hand pass back to Hassel. He's been caught by Pritchard. So he's been dispossessed holding the ball. Great tackle by Pritchard. And he takes the free kick. Here's Stephen Quartermain. You're listening to the Mitre 10 Big Game on Magic 693.
So Darren Pritchard at half-back for the Hawks. Scores all tied up at 3-7-25 apiece. We've gone 26 minutes into this second quarter. In front is Deere. Can't take the mark. Play on calls the umpire. taken by Crawford. He dishes it out, but straight into the hands of Nathan Buckley. Buckley, the half forward for Collingwood. Rowe, a little fist on. Hassell's there for Collingwood. He can't pick it up. Well done by Pritchard. Great skills. Puts the ball on the left foot. And he finds the boundary line, almost the wing position on the outer side here at Waverley Park.
Certainly a tough, hard slog, and both sides will they relish the sound of the siren, because they'd be absolutely fatigued, and the physical exertion demands on them here has been fantastic.
Monkhurst against Holland. Neither could get the knockout. Taken by Cooper. He fists it forward. Now Holland again. Gives it to Platten. And the siren sounds for half-time here at Waverley Park. So on the Mitre 10 scoreboard, it's Hawthorn. 3-7-25. Dead level with Collingwood. 3-7-25. The goal kickers for the Hawks, Paul Hudson, Jason Dunstall and John Platten. While for Collingwood, John Hassell, Brad Rowe and Nick McGuan. Let's go round the grounds. Ricky Nixon.
Well, both sides now taking up their positions, and umpire Nash has the ball, and we see going down there.
You're a shocker, Corder.
Here's Chris Isco. He's still picking up Jason Dunstall. Buckley still being tagged here by Raiden Tallis, and in the centre of the ground we've got Big Paw Deer picking up Gavin Brown, and we see the bounce down there. The ball once more just tapped forward by Hawthorn, by Holland, kicked off the ground here by Cooper, goes out here towards Watson, who picks the ball up, swings around his body, kicks it out wide. So Hassell's got a chance. Can he get a kind bounce in the wet conditions? He does. Gets the ball back to Buckley, but great play out here by Tallis. He was against three. Kicked off the ground here by Hudson, and but lobbing back there is Watson. Takes an easy chest mark. Plays on quickly, looking for big Monkhurst there. He pays the mark. Didn't really hang on to it. How many marks the Monkhurst? That'd be his first, I think.
First mark, KB.
So Big Monkey comes away, kicks a low trajectory kick back towards the centre of the ground. Two Collingwood players collide out there, but it ricochets back here. Chance for Lord to come away with the ball and thumps it back here where Brereton comes out, but Jenke punches the ball away in hot pursuit. In after the ball there is Taylor along with Hutton. Look at Brereton, knocks the ball further afield. Chance coming in there was Rowe. Hawthorn player slides under the ball out there. It was Jonathan Robran. Stacks on the mill. The ball spills clear. Picked up by Woods. Heads for the safety of the boundary line. Helped over this time by Young Orchard of Collingwood. And we've got a boundary throw in 45 metres around from the Magpies' goal.
I think the instructions delivered by both coaches to their respective camps would be pretty simple, I would imagine. Percentages, kick long and be in front.
So from that boundary throw and taking the ball there was Rowe. He's been dispossessed, but he's got a free kick for holding the man. So this is a very, very important kick. Any kick's important at goal here today. We've only had 3 goals apiece kicked in this opening half of football. So Hawthorn on the Dan Murphy scoreboard, and we welcome Dan Murphy, one of our new sponsors for Magic 693. Hawthorn are 3-7-25, Collingwood 3-7-25. We've played just on 2 minutes into this opening minutes of this third term, and Rowe, who's already kicked 1 goal, comes in. The kick's on its way. It's across the face there. It's still inside the goal square. Platten's there, but in fact the goal umpire signalled 1 point. So it's the Pies are in front. 3-8-26. Hawthorn 3-7-25. Here's slamming Sam Kekovich.
Well, Brad Rowe, from moving down from Brisbane, has really been a viable option up forward. A live wire, got good goal sense. I'd like to see him do a little bit more around the ground at the coalface.
So Robran brings the ball back into play. Platten's at the base of the pack. He slaps the ball over the line for a throw in about 45 metres out from Collingwood's goal in front of the small scoreboard here at Waverley Park.
Been a terrific player, Platten, and Hassell's really got to just sit on him because he's running rings around him at the moment.
Ball back into play. It's Holland in the ruck against Houghton. Houghton got that knocked down. Taken by Hassell. Centering kick into the goal square. Gee, could have been a free kick to Rocker. Play on, says the umpire. Hawk defenders trying to kick it off the ground. Rose in there for the Magpies. Good shepherd off the ball there by Orchard. Now kept in play by Rowe. Here's a chance here for Aaron James, who's on the ground. And there's a whistle blown on play. In fact, the ball's gone over the line. The boundary umpire's ruled. So it's a throw in about 45 metres out from Collingwood's goal in front of the members here at Waverley. Magpies lead by a point. In the ruck, it's Houghton against Holland. Holland in front, tries to grab the ball, can't do so. Battling in there hard for the Hawks is Woods. Coming through's Platten, good work. Gives the ball to Jarman. Jarman now kicks the ball to the members' wing. Thumped over the head by Graham. In there for Hawthorn is Hudson. Also Crawford. Now Platten again has a kick smothered by Hassel. Great stuff. In there is Raiden Tallis. They're throwing themselves on the footy. Burns comes up with the ball. Gives a handball to Moncourse. Moncourse sells the dummy. Then puts the ball on the left foot. Jarman's at the base of the pack. Picks up the ball for the Hawks. Not sure what to do with it. Sells the dummy twice. Good skills. Kicks it to half forward. Hawks got the numbers here. Deere should get it moving. He does. Handball over the top to Hudson. Here's a chance for the Hawks. Hudson, he's going slowly, but now he gives the ball to Graham. Graham into the open goal. Has missed what he should have kicked. Gee, they set that well. The Hawks set it up well, but Graham, they were very laconic. Hudson took his time, eventually offloaded to Graham.
Well, both sides now taking up their positions, and umpire Nash has the ball, and we see going down there.
You're a shocker, Corder.
Here's Chris Isco. He's still picking up Jason Dunstall. Buckley still being tagged here by Raiden Tallis, and in the centre of the ground we've got Big Paw Deere picking up Gavin Brown, and we see the bounce down there. The ball once more just tapped forward by Hawthorn, by Holland, kicked off the ground here by Cooper, goes out here towards Watson, who picks the ball up, swings around his body, kicks it out wide. So Hassel's got a chance. Can he get a kind bounce in the wet conditions? He does. Gets the ball back to Buckley, but great play out here by Tallis. He was against three. Kicked off the ground here by Hudson, and but lobbing back there is Watson. Takes an easy chest mark. Plays on quickly, looking for Big Monkhorst there. He pays the mark. Didn't really hang on to it. How many marks to Monkhorst? That'd be his first, I think.
First mark, KB.
So Big Monkey comes away, kicks a low trajectory kick back towards the centre of the ground. Two Collingwood players collide out there, but it ricochets back here. Chance for Lord to come away with the ball and thumps it back here where Brereton comes out, but Jenke punches the ball away in hot pursuit. In after the ball there is Taylor along with Hutton. Look at Brereton, knocks the ball further afield. Chance coming in there was Rowe. Hawthorn player slides under the ball out there. It was Jonathan Robran. Stacks on the mill, the ball spills clear. Picked up by Woods, heads for the safety of the boundary line. Helped over this time by Young Orchard of Collingwood. And we've got a boundary throw in 45 metres around from the Magpies' goal.
I think the instructions delivered by both coaches to their respective camps will be pretty simple, I would imagine. Percentages, kick long and be in front.
So from that boundary throw and taking the ball there was Rowe. He's been dispossessed, but he's got a free kick for holding the man. So this is a very, very important kick. Any kick's important at goal here today. We've only had 3 goals apiece kicked in this opening half of football. So Hawthorn on the Dan Murphy scoreboard, and we welcome Dan Murphy, one of our new sponsors for Magic 693. Hawthorn are 3-7-25, Collingwood 3-7-25. We've played just on 2 minutes into this opening minutes of this third term, and Rowe, who's already kicked 1 goal, comes in. The kick's on its way. It's across the face there. It's still inside the goal square. Platten's there, but in fact the goal umpire signalled 1 point. So it's the Pies are in front. 3-8-26. Hawthorn 3-7-25. Here's slamming Sam Kekovich.
Well, Brad Rowe from moving down from Brisbane has really been a viable option up forward. A live wire, got good goal sense. I'd like to see him do a little bit more around the ground at the coalface.
So Robran brings the ball back into play. Platten's at the base of the pack. He slaps the ball over the line for a throw in about 45 metres out from Collingwood's goal in front of the small scoreboard here at Waverley Park.
Been a terrific player, Platten, and Hassel's really got to just sit on him because he's running rings around him at the moment.
Ball back into play. It's Holland in the ruck against Houghton. Houghton got that knocked down, taken by Hassel. Centering kick into the goal square. Gee, could have been a free kick to Rocker. Play on, says the umpire. Hawk defenders trying to kick it off the ground. Rowe's in there for the Magpies. Good shepherd off the ball there by Orchard. Now kept in play by Rowe. Here's a chance here for Aaron James, who's on the ground. And there's a whistle blown on play. In fact, the ball's gone over the line, the boundary umpire's ruled. So it's a throw in about 45 metres out from Collingwood's goal in front of the members here at Waverley. Magpies lead by a point. In the ruck, it's Houghton against Holland. Holland in front, tries to grab the ball, can't do so. Battling in there hard for the Hawks is Woods. Coming through is Platten, good work. Gives the ball to Jarman. Jarman now kicks the ball to the members' wing. Thumped over the head by Graham. In there for Hawthorn is Hudson. Also Crawford. Now Platten again has a kick smothered by Hassel. Great stuff. In there is Raiden Tallis. They're throwing themselves on the footy. Burns comes up with the ball. Gives a handball to Moncourse. Moncourse sells the dummy. Then puts the ball on the left foot. Jarman's at the base of the pack. Picks up the ball for the Hawks. Not sure what to do with it. Sells the dummy twice. Good skills. Kicks it to half forward. Hawks got the numbers here. Deere should get it moving. He does. Handball over the top to Hudson. Here's a chance for the Hawks. Hudson, he's going slowly, but now he gives the ball to Graham. Graham into the open goal. Has missed what he should have kicked. Gee, they set that well. The Hawks set it up well, but Graham, they were very laconic. Hudson took his time, eventually offloaded to Graham into an open goal, and really that is a bad miss, Sam Kekovich.
Yes, you summed it up to a nicety, Quarters, and I thought Greg Dio hurt too. I thought he could have put boot the ball and get the ball up there quicker instead of a long floating hand pass.
And Jarman's play was absolutely superb, the way he carried the ball. And back here is Deer, takes the mark, kicks it up further. Here's a chance. Hudson sets himself for the mark, can't take it at ground level. He's trying to recover quickly. Crawford's in there too. Wild's in there for Collingwood, jumps over top of the ball. Graham Wright's there, play on, says the umpire. The ball's very close to the boundary line. Crawford keeps it in, slides out. Great skills by the kid. Comes away. Now he's been caught by Wright, picked up by Kelly in his 100th game. Kicks the ball hurriedly back towards the half-back flank. Going in hard there is Deer. Goes over the top down here off Buckley. And we've got a boundary throw in. 5 minutes into this third term. Scores are all tied up here at Waverley. You're listening to the Mitre 10 big game on Magic 693. Great to see Frank Whelan here, also from Nomad Telecommunications.
Oh.
He barracks for the Demons, but he just loves his footy. And he hasn't even got a raincoat on. Here's the chance now. Platten takes the ball. Close to best man on the ground. Kicks it down towards Dunstall. He's been held.
Oh, that is ridiculous and an absolutely stupid decision, that.
Comments from slamming Sam Kekovich.
That should have gone to Krasiska, if any. Yeah, there are two set of rules by umpires. They do get conned by names. Absolutely larceny by trick, that is.
So Jason Dunstall, he's kicked one goal. He's directly in front. The drop punt is on its way. He's got goal number 2. So coming back now onto the ground for Collingwood is Jason Wild. And going off is the skipper, Gavin Brown. So one would suspect that Gavin Brown must have an injury, but Dunstall has his second goal on the board. So now let's just check the Dan Murphy scoreboard. Hawthorn 4-8-32, Collingwood 3-8-26. Let's go back to the MCG. Ricky Nixon.
Well, the first 5 minutes here, KB and Carlton have banged on 2 goals. They're 6-11-47. They're 25 points in front of North, 3-4-22. Barry Round at the Optus Oval.
Been playing 4 minutes here, Rick. It's still less than 14-8-92. St Kilda 3-1-19. 73-point lead to the Bombers. To Matty at Sydney.
Still half-time here with Adelaide leading by 9 points, 7-10, 52. Swans is 5-13, 43. Back to Waverley.
Platten's kicked at Dunstall, the full forward line. Dunstall had 2 bites of the cherry, but play on, says the umpire. But Hawthorn still in control. They got the ball at half forward. It's Jarman. He picks his moment. Oh, the centering kick. It's a dangerous one. Pritchard's there at the fall of the ball. Williams did well. Now for chance for Cooper. Great effort by Paul Williams. That was good stuff. It was 2 against 1, and the Collingwood player won out. Now Watson for Collingwood. Oh, his handball's intercepted. Taken by Graham. Pumps the ball to the full forward line. Dunstall caught behind against Krasiska. Slapped away by Burns off the ground. Stevenson. He's kicked the goal for the Hawks. Oh, here come the Hawks. They've got 2 quick goals. 5-8-38 on the Dan Murphy scoreboard. Collingwood 3-8-26. Sam Kekovich.
Well, there's 2 factors that have become evident. One is the leg speed of the Woods. There's no doubt that fatigue has set in. Well, they look second to the ball. The Hawk midfielders are running rampant. Platten in particular is brilliant. Jarman's skills been a concern. And the other thing in wet weather football is the retention of your footing. You know, you've really got to stay on your feet to be in the contest. Once you go to ground, and there's too many Collingwood players diving at the contest, and once that dive is not effective, they're completely out of the contest. They've got no recovery. Hawthorn, conversely, their players are retaining their footing.
So the ball back in the centre. Just a couple of signs of panic from the Collingwood players as Buckley grabs the ball under centre. He slides over. Good desperate work by Pritchard. Players again throwing themselves on top of the footy. Guess who comes out with a John Platten? He was legged. Play on, says the umpire. Now Platten gives a handball to Pritchard. Pritchard in turn to Woods as Collins is poleaxed by Moncourse off the ball. Quite legal, however. Watson's got the ball at half-back for the Magpies. Gets past Graham. Little left foot kick looking for Hassel. It's on the outer wing position. Hassel now picks it up. He's tackled by a Hawthorn player. Good stuff by the Hawks. They're attacking the ball. In there is Houghton. Also Pritchard. Pritchard trying to get it to Crawford. Now Platten a little kick off the ground. And it's gone over the line for a throw-in on the outer wing position.
And Hawthorn possess more of those medium-range players that are ideally suited to the weather conditions that are prevalent here. You have middle, stocky, low to the ground and retain their footing.
So we've got Hawthorn 5-8-39. Let's make that 5-8-38. The bulb's gone in the electronic scoreboard here. Collingwood 3:08:26. We've played just on 9 minutes in this third term. That's on the Dan Murphy scoreboard. We've got a boundary throw-in on the outer side of the ground. Monkhurst takes the front position, takes the tap down, falls at the base of the pack. Ooh, kick off the ground there by mighty Mick McGuan. Once more, big pack of players. Let's go to the count, Paul Calorie, and find out who's been starring on paper.
KB, Johnny Platten, 18 kicks, 2 handballs. Darren Jarman, 11 and 4. Mickey McGuan's had 9 and 6.
And from the wild knockout there by Munker, it's been taken away here by Cooper, but a free kick's been paid. It's going to Collingwood, and it's going back to Mick McGuan. So he's on the edge of the centre square on the outer side of the ground. Collingwood's kicking down towards the Police Road end. Mick McGuan comes in. It's a long raking kick towards the 50-metre mark. He was looking for Hawthorn. He was sandwiched between 2 Hawthorn players on hands and knees. Trying to win the ball out here is Lord. Gets the ball out once more. They can't pick it up. Players are just sliding in on top of the ball. And umpire Rich is going to bounce on the 50-metre line.
Yeah, well, it's a critical stage. It's amazing in the context of the game. A real nail-biter and a cliffhanger and nothing between the sides. One bad decision has really changed the tempo of this game.
So from that ball up, we see coming away with the ball is Wright. So Wright gets the ball back inside 50, and a mark's been taken here by Nick Holland. So Holland has the mark. I called Lord before, I meant James. Of course, Aaron James. And we see on the outer side, picked up by Cooper for Hawthorn. Comes away, he finds Platten with a long raking hand pass. So the Rat's off and running once more. Hugs the boundary line, kicks inside 50. His target down there was Deere. Couldn't take the mark. The ball comes back, just ricochets back over the boundary line, and we've got a throw-in. Still around about 70 metres out from Hawthorn's goal. They're kicking down towards the main scoreboard, and they're 5:08:38. Collingwood 3:08:26. That's on the Dan Murphy scoreboard, and you're listening to the Mitre 10 Big Game on Magic 693 with Kevin Bartlett, Stephen Quartermain, slamming Sam Kekovich, and the count Paul Calorie. And here's Quarters.
Well, Quarters, I'll tell you, sorry for interrupting, but it does really resemble this game at the minute, my state school days. You just follow the ball. There's about 30 players on the ball at the minute.
Bit like footy, early 70s style. Taken away by Cooper. Another possession to him. He kicks the ball to half forward. Deers in front against Kelly. Can't take the mark. Play on, says the umpire. Burns in there. Now comes out to Hudson. Hudson has a long shot at goal. He's kicked another one. The Magpies are in trouble here at Waverley Park. Hawthorn have kicked 3 quick goals in this quarter. And on the Dan Murphy scoreboard, it's Hawthorn 6:08:44, leading Collingwood 3:08:26. Let's go to Ricky Nixon at the MCG.
11-minute mark here, Stephen. Carlton careering away. They're 30 points in front. 7:11:53 to North Melbourne. 3:05:23. Barry round at the Optus Oval.
10-minute mark of the third quarter, and it's the Bombers 15:08:98, leading St Kilda 3-1-19 to Matty in Sydney.
Just into the third quarter here, Adelaide lead by 16 points, 8:11:59, Swans 5:13:43, back to Waverley.
Back in the ruck, Monkus got the knockdown, but it went straight into the hands of Jarman. Platten steaming through. Now a little kick off the ground by the Hawks. In there to stop the attack is Burns for Collingwood. He gets a scrubby little kick back in the centre. Monkus trying his heart out for the Magpies. Now Holland gives it to Tallis. He's tackled by Wright. He gives it on to Deere. Deere tries to sell the dummy. He can't. Now Stevenson. The little handball to Woods. Hawthorn into attack again. Woods centres the ball. It was off the side of the boot, but he'll claim it as a centre. And John Platten shipped in to take the mark, but he's a fair way out from goal. About 47-48 metres out when he kicks. Directly in front.
20 kicks now, Stephen, to Platten.
Well, he's been the difference between the two sides. There's no doubt about that. He's been absolutely brilliant at the coalface. Greg Deere has given them a sense of presence since coming on as well.
John Platten. There's the kick at goal. It's a good-looking drop punt. It's another one for the Hawks. That's his second. So the Hawks move further ahead here at Waverley. 7:08:50. Collingwood 3:08:26, and the Hawks have kicked 4 goals in 7 minutes.
Now I'll put this to you, Kecker. What's been the turnaround for Hawthorn in this third term?
Well, winning the ball out of the coalface and in midfield. You know, Stevenson's done well, but I think Platten, Jarman and Greg Deere, I mentioned earlier, has given them a sense of presence, and they're just getting numbers to the ball, and they're surer in their ball handling.
Paul Deere, and he's had 13 possessions.
So from the centre bounce, can Hawthorn keep going forward? Platten was in there, Peel for the free kick. You mentioned Jarman, he's got another kick out of the centre, Kecker, up towards the half-forward line. It's a race in 3. Hassell's going to get there first, shepherded out there by his teammate there in Burns, but he carries the ball over the line, and a boundary throw-in. Here's Kecker.
I might also add in Collingwood's defence, you know, their tiredness is no doubt a factor. You read the papers with John Northey, you know, was absolutely vocal and critical of the league, allowing them to play 2 games of this ilk, the competitive battle, in 4 days. It's just not humanly possible, he claims.
So you're saying Collingwood's starting to feel the pinches. We see Mick McGuan on hands and knees. Gets it out where Kelly thumps the ball forward. Back towards the edge of the centre square. Crashing his way through was Holland. Play on, says the umpire. Pritchard kicks it off the ground. Deere slides underneath the ball. Comes back out. Here's Platten again. He's got the ball. Hand pass intercepted here by Richardson to the Pies. Comes away. Now they've got a chance, Collingwood. They can get the loose player going. Williams takes it on the half-back flank and thumps it out wide. He's looking for out here in Aaron James. The ball doesn't bounce up. It just skids along the ground. McDonald comes in. He's happy to just bowl the ball along the ground, and it rolls over for a boundary throw-in on the half-forward flank.
Well, in the context of the game, a 4-goal lead, it's virtually the game. The ball game's over, as far as Collingwood concerned.
It's never over until the fat lady sings.
No, you're right, Kevin. Look, you've got to be very careful. I do that at my own peril, preempting the outcome, but really, I just can't see Collingwood getting up.
On the Dan Murphy scoreboard, we've got Hawthorn in a great third quarter, 7-8-50. The Pies are 3-8-26. So the Hawks by 24 points. We approach the 15-minute mark of this third term, and the goal kickers for Hawthorn, 2 to Hudson, 2 to Dunstall, 2 to Platten, and 1 to Stevenson. And for Collingwood, 1 to Hassel, 1 to Rowe, and 1 to Mick McGuan. Here's quarters.
Rowe's got the ball at half forward for Collingwood. Please, Collingwood supporters, don't listen to Kecker. Keep your radio on Magic 693, because this game is not over yet, as Jenke gets the free kick at half back for the Hawks.
He can bury aside, Kecker can, but boy oh boy, can he change his mind a few moments later.
Jenke now kicks the ball to half-back where the mark is taken by Jarman, and he really is running wild in this third quarter. Jarman in turn kicks the ball to the outer wing over the head of Hudson and Burns. Coming through there is Stevenson. Good defensive work by Craig Kelly, and he paddles the ball over the line.
Look at this lunatic here, and it's Kecker's brother Brian. He's just standing up and he yelled out to his brother, "You wouldn't have a clue."
Well, he's always critical of me, Brian. He always told me, wait till the siren sounds.
Ball thrown back in. It's Monkhorst in the ruck against Deere. Monkhorst got the knockout. Platten's in there for Hawthorn. Little kick off the ground. Now Burns for Collingwood trying to pick it up. He paddles it again over the line for a throw-in. Half-forward line for the Hawks. Out of side, they lead 50-26.
Let's go around the grounds. Ricky Nixon at the MCG.
Well, it's still all Carlton here. 15 minutes into the third quarter, they lead by 36 points. 8-11-59 to North Melbourne. 3-5-23. They're gone. Barry at the Optus Oval.
Not as gone as the Saints. It's 14-minute mark of the third quarter, and Essendon aren't tied at all. They're 18-8, 116, 97 points in front of St Kilda, 3-1-19 to Matty in Sydney.
Well, this is still pretty tight here. Adelaide lead 10-11-66 by 17 points. The Swans 6-13-49. Back.
Thank you, Matthew. And Jarman's got the ball at half-forward. He paddled it on the Woods, who fell over the top of it, and he was tackled by Mick McGuan. And the umpire has ruled holding the ball, and McGuan gets the free kick at half-back for the Magpies members' side. He drives the ball to the wing. In front is Holland. Paul, how many marks is that? 8?
You're exactly right, Stephen.
8 marks to Holland. He's been a wonderful player again, off and running. Gives the handball to Taylor. Taylor's gathered a kilometre in the legs today. He's looking good. He kicks the ball to half forward. Hudson's there. He reckons he's slayed Sam Kekovich, but Taylor's playing well today. Richardson's got the ball at half back. He drives the ball to the wing. Taylor again takes the mark in front of Houghton. And Jason Taylor, the former Fitzroy player, who's been at the Hawks for 3 or 4 seasons now, got the ball. He centres the ball to half forward, looking for Deere. Oh, could have been a free kick for Holding against Holland. Play on, says the umpire now. Coming through hard as Hassel. Hawthorn player down hurt, and Cooper takes the mark at half forward for the Hawks. It's Crawford, and he's getting up very slowly. Appears to be okay. So Cooper at half forward for the Hawks. The ball falls short. Deere tries to take the chest mark. He can't do it. Taps it onto Graham. Play on, says the umpire. Richardson battling his best for the Magpies. He's trying hard. So is Monkhorst. Gets the little handball to Kelly, and Kelly kicks it back to half forward for the Hawks, and the mark is taken by Cooper.
So Cooper's on centre wing position on the members' side. The Hawks are kicking down towards the main scoreboard. They've come out breathing fire in this third term. Up goes Watson, thumps the ball to the ground. Richardson there is lending support. Comes out of the pack with a quick kick back towards the centre wing position. Oh, there's a free kick or a mark maybe to Woods. Play on, I'll pay advantage as Jarman picks up for Hawthorn. Here's a chance for Dunstall, but over the top comes Kelly, thumps the ball to the ground. Richardson once more trying to weave his way through the pack. He's been beset upon, but his teammate Wild comes out with the ball, kicks it back towards the centre square. Up from behind, a big high flyer down there, couldn't take it. Was Holland. The ball's on the edge there, picked up by McDonald. Tries and gets it back. Here's Williams paddling the ball along in front. Picked up here this time by Young Orchard. Gives the ball back to right. Poleaxed into the ground. What a pick up by Jarman. skill, but it was let down by Crawford. Couldn't handle the ball, but this bloke can. The Rat Platten has a long kick down towards Dunstall's there, up in front, can't get his hands to the ball. In fact, the ball goes off the hands and out of bounds.
God, Jarman's skill level, his display here, is worth the cost of entry to the game alone. Just absolutely sensational ball skills as Jarman.
Here's the count, Paul Callery.
And indeed, KB, he's had 13 possessions this quarter.
Who's that?
Jarman.
Jarman's had 13 possessions. We see that's a remarkable stat.
Yeah, terrific
13
stuff.
possessions where you've only played 19 and a half minutes. He's been a superb, and just some of his pickups today. You look laconic on a couple of occasions, just sort of like very casually getting around players. But he is a casual-looking player, as we see from that throw-in. Here's a chance now for Hawthorn. Crawford gets the ball out, but in defence, Williams dances around, comes out of the pack, kicks out wide, looking for Buckley. He needs support out there from Mick McGuan. He gets it. Buckley now on that left boot, dragged to the ground there by Pritchard. The ball goes back to Nick Holland, being a very good player. Gets the ball back here to his teammate. Ridden into the ground out there was Woods. The ball comes back to Alex McDonald, the former #1 draft pick. He's really finding a spot now on this Hawthorn side. They work hard. It comes back to Pritchard. And Pritchard with a long bomb inside 50. Dunstall's got it. A strong mark by Dunstall in front of the pack. Tough conditions. Took it on the second grab. And they have come out in this third term, Hawthorn. And they've really thrown the gauntlet down to the Pies. We're at the 20-minute mark. And Dunstall is marked. And Hawthorn, 7-8-50, lead by 24 points. They'll stretch this to 30. The Pies, 3-8-26. Here's the count.
KB, a real worry for the Magpies must be Gavin Brown. He's had 1 kick and 2 handballs.
Well, in fact, taken from the field in this third term, and it's a rarity to see Gavin Brown off the ground as Dunstall. Can he kick this? Dunstall has kicked it. 3 goals to Jason Dunstall. And on the Dan Murphy scoreboard, Hawthorn. Well, we keep saying they're dead and buried. They can't make the finals for 14 consecutive years, and they keep proving all the critics wrong. 8-8-56 Hawthorn, Collingwood 3-8-26. Here's slamming Sam Kekovich.
Well, I always say about Hawthorn, you do that at your own peril, being critical of them and say it's the end of the dynasty. But their performance has been outstanding today, and Collingwood are tired. Jarman's been terrific, Pratton exemplary, and Collingwood really run the risk of equalling a record that I'm sure they won't be striving to do so, and that is their lowest score against Hawthorn.
Oh, Dermot Brereton
12-36.
Tries to lift his teammates by running through the old centre huddle like he used to do in the 80s, but he didn't collect anyone, and it'll be a ball up into centre square.
What's that lowest score?
The lowest score Collingwood have recorded against Hawthorn is 4-12-36, and at the current, as we speak, they are 3-8-26 at the 22-minute mark of the third term.
The Hawks have registered 5 goals in 15 minutes in this third quarter. Now Platten again gets a little kick to Jarman. Gee, they've been dominant. Jarman offloads a little handball to Pritchard. Hawks off and running again to half forward. But chipping in on this occasion is Craig Kelly, playing his 100th game today for the Magpies. He takes the mark at half back, right on the 50-metre line. Drives the ball to the outer wing. In front is Woods. Can't mark. Brereton's down on the wing trying to lift his teammates. McGuan picks up the ball, thumps it to half forward. There was James also Christian there for Collingwood, but the tackle's on Taylor when he didn't have the ball, and Jason Taylor will get the free kick at half-back for the Hawks. 22 minutes gone this quarter. Hawthorn lead by 5 straight goals. Jenke at half-back kicks the ball to the wing where the mark's taken by Nick Holland. That's mark number 9. Great effort in these conditions. Holland plays on, kicks the ball to Pritchard, who's also coming into the game strongly in this third quarter. Pritchard bombs the ball to within 15 metres. Dunstall against Krasiska. Should be a free kick for holding, and it is. That was an obvious one, Sam Kekovich. Jason Dunstall will now line up for his 4th goal, about 15 metres out directly in front.
Yes, no argument for me on that occasion. There was a clear-cut mark to Dunstall. He lamped his large posterior right in front of Krasiska, who was absolutely at a loss to do anything about him, and he worked his body very, very strongly and was receipt of a free kick. Krasiska, of course, had no possible chance as we see Collingwood wheel the changes at the moment. Christian coming off, and coming on is Adam James.
Dunstall, right in front of goal, has put it through for his 4th. So on the Dan Murphy scoreboard, it's Hawthorn 9-8-62, now leading Collingwood by 6 goals. They're 3-8-26. Let's go to Ricky Nixon at the MCG.
22-minute mark of the third quarter, and it's Carlton by 41 big points here. 9-12-66 to North Melbourne, 3-7-25. Barry round at the Optus Oval.
Yes, Essendon by 91 points. We've played 21 minutes into the third quarter. 18-8, 116. St Kilda 4-1-25. What's happening in Sydney, Matty Rindell?
Yes, Adelaide skipped away a little bit here by 23 points. 11-12, 78 to the Swans. 7-13, 55. Back to Waverley, sorry.
Well, sometimes we'd like to be in Western Australia, let me tell you that, because of the weather over there. But Hawthorn's kicked 6 goals, won this quarter to the Pies' solitary point. And here they come out of the centre again. Platten takes the kick off the ground from Jarman, kicks it down inside 50, but backing back is Kelly. Absolutely being slaughtered around midfield. Collingwood with Platten and Jarman starring. Also, Crawford's been an outstanding player. Mick McGuan has battled hard, but they just can't win enough of the ball midfield. The ball's continually being pumped into Hawthorn's forward line. So sooner or later they've got to score. I reckon Severio Rocca's got frostbite down in the goal square. The ball has not come down to him, I don't reckon, for virtually 2 quarters. He's had no chance whatsoever, the star of last week's game. Brereton's been forced a long way up the ground to try and get a touch because Collingwood just can't get the ball down into their forward line. Here's the count.
Another worry for the Magpies. Nathan Buckley, only 7 possessions.
Yeah, they just can't get numbers to the ball for it. Some inexplicable reason. Hawthorn have got 4 and 6 around every contest.
Okay, and the ball kicked down in the forward pocket for the Pies. Can they actually get a goal? They've only kicked 1 behind this quarter. When did they last kick their last goal kicker?
The 3-minute mark of the second quarter, in fact. I think it was a 3 or 4 minute mark. I'll just come back. I think it was a 3-minute mark.
Toby, what about giving Rock a run on the ruck?
Well, I tell you what, at least it'd warm him up a little bit. Monkhorst, he can kick a goal down there in the forward line as well, I would imagine. But maybe a bit heavy down there under these conditions as we see the ball for Hawthorn on the half-back flank taken here by McDonald. Thumps it back inside the centre square. Collingwood struggling to win the ball here in the centre square as we see Watson comes out. He's been caught high by Jarman and he will take the free kick. He's on the point of the centre square on the half-back flank. Gives it across to Kelly. Has the handball onto Monkhorst who gives the ball across to Williams. So he's on centre wing member side. Thumps the ball down towards Brereton. Takes the front position. Could have been held. Play on, says the umpire. Out to Rocker. First touch for a long time. Handball's out here towards Young Orchard. In comes James for Collingwood. That's young Brett James, but we have a ball up. So it's on the 50-metre mark. Up over the top there is James. That was Aaron James. But a quick kick out of the pack by Tallis of Hawthorn. Comes out towards the half-back flank. We see Cooper now. He's going to run onto the ball. Good play there by Watson. Forces him over the line with body pressure. And once more we have a boundary throw-in. Some 70 metres around from Collingwood's goal. The time clock shows the 26-minute mark. And Hawthorn on the Dan Murphy scoreboard. 9-8-62. Collingwood 3-8-26. Chance now, once more for Cooper. Wants to kick the ball off the ground. Heads for the safety of the boundary line. And the Hawks force it over.
Well, they're quite content to just play the percentages, Kevin. And rightly so. They've done it superbly in this term. And I see Jason Wells now got the big job on Johnny Platten.
Well, it's been a huge third term to come out and kick 6 goals under these conditions by Hawthorn. Monkhorst there, got into the back of Holland, not paid, trying to crash his way through his whims. Good skills, picks up now, loses the ball. Look at Stevenson, the former Fitzroy player, comes in, and there goes the siren to end what's been a great quarter for Hawthorn. And look at Darren Jarman, he's there applauding his teammates along with Paul Hudson. He's waving the troops in. He realises that was a great quarter of football, committed football by Hawthorn. A big disappointing quarter by the Pies. They had that great game last week against the Bombers. Maybe they are a bit tired. Lee Matthews is on his way down to the ground. He's looking...
Whenever there's a goal, there's always a roar. Whoever takes
If you're looking for a place with a friendlier face to shop for your family, the kind of store where smiles cost no more, then we've got what you're looking for. Farcy's friendly feeling, and we just want to say, Farcy's friendly feeling, you're welcome every day. Farcy's friendly feeling, Farcy's friendly feeling.
After hours of training, the water feels like sand. My mind keeps me going, but when my body needs help, I bring Powerade Thirst Quencher. Powerade gives back power to hard-working muscles.
Powerade Thirst Quencher. You win the mind game, we'll take care of the body.
Clanton and Jarman was simply magnificent, and a 6-goal term there by the Hawks, which was absolutely magnificent. And also I mentioned Collingwood in 1961 registered a score of 4-12-36, and they run the real risk of certainly emulating that feat, and I'm sure it's one record that I wouldn't be overly proud of. But it was a quarter that I believe one critical event took place. It was an ambiguous umpiring decision paid to Dunstall when the scores were tied early in the third term, and I thought it was a terrible decision, but that singularly sort of swung the momentum Hawthorn's way, and from then on, after they acquired that 6-point lead, they went on a goal-kicking spree. And you asked me why, what were the reasons behind it? Was it simple, that midfield dominance that they asserted through the likes of Stevenson? I thought Greg Deere gave them a sense of prominence or presence there. Also, I felt that Jarman and Platten I've spoken about.
And we mentioned about Rocker going into the ruck. Well, we see Damien Monkhorst coming off for Collingwood, and Saverio Rocker, as you call Savriano Rocker.
Savriano Rocker. Well, it's, you know, you called it right, Kevin. He's had limited opportunity, about 4 genuine opportunities, and the count.
But the interesting thing is, Sam, that Collingwood have had 33 knockouts to the Hawks 10. So he's been winning the ruck at least.
Well, you say that, but I'm very, very dubious about the ruck contest, because invariably the contest that I really count is a distinct knock that go to a player, set of bounce breaks. And Monkhorst has been doing well, but just the ability to get numbers to the ball, Collingwood looking very tired, paying the penalty of just 4 days, Kevin.
But I think that to try and get Rocker into the game, they've actually got to put him onto the ball, and Monkhorst has done a terrific job. He's rucked for the last 3 quarters. In very trying conditions. Well, he can have a little breather and maybe bring him back onto the ground if, in fact, Collingwood can mount a charge in this last quarter. But Rocker, I reckon he's got frostbite. Lucky he's got the gloves on. Otherwise,
maybe the lights can warm him up, KB.
They're on now.
Yes. Well, the light's on at Waverley. So all is in readiness for the start of this last term. So we've got Nathan Buckley. And playing on Buckley, very interesting in that third term was Greg Deere, which was an unusual matchup, but in these sorts of conditions, in the heaviness of the ground, the slipperiness of it, that bulk of Deere has been able to get in the way and pave the way for a lot of the Hawthorn small men out of that centre bounce, particularly Platten, who is absolutely starring. Going down 2 full forward for Collingwood is Michael Christian is down there with Brett James, who spent a bit of time on the interchange bench, and young Aaron Lord's down there as well. So here's the toss-up to start this last quarter, and Rocker belts the ball 30 metres. Well, that's the start Collingwood wanted. Running onto the ball here is Williams, and Rose in there as well. Mick McGuan's been bowled over. That was high for mine. The umpire was on the wrong side of the pack, and we've got a ball up. So it's inside the centre square. Collingwood kicking down towards the main scoreboard. They've got a big task in front of them. And from that throw up, here goes Rocker once more, wins the tap. Coming through there was Tallis, couldn't take the ball. And umpire Peter Carey says, I'm going to bounce.
Well, there's no doubt that Hawthorn have adapted to the conditions far better than Collingwood. Got a very well balanced wet weather side.
So up goes Holland. This time wins the tap, taken here by Williams. Now paddles the ball long in front from a fresh air shot. Kicks out towards the 50-metre mark. So Brereton's in hot pursuit. Getting there first is Jonathan Robram for the Hawks. And he kicks the ball straight back over the line, out of bounds. But a free kick is going to be paid to Robram, who was pushed as he kicked the ball. So the resultant free kick will come back. Well, his brother played 1 year at Hawthorn. Played about 9 games and said, that's enough for me. I'm going back to Adelaide.
And what about his father, Kevin?
Yes, fantastic player. One of the all-time greats. 3 Magarey medals as the ball comes out towards the edge of the centre square. Out there is Tallis, been a pretty good player today. Wild's got the big job now on Johnny Platten. And just tell our listeners once more the stats of Johnny Platten today.
24 kicks, 3 handballs, 2 goals.
So Platten, an absolute star. We've played a minute and a half in this final term. We've got the lights on at Waverley, and we see Tallis kicks the ball along the ground. Coming out there's Stevenson. Been a handy player since he's come onto the ground. Back towards Williams. Gets the ball out to right. So Collingwood mounting an attack. Up into the 50-metre mark. From behind is Christian. Couldn't get it. Thumped forward there by Taylor, but taken by Buckley. His quick kick goes into the front of the square. Coming out and taking the crumb there was Christian, but he kicks the ball only 5 metres. Lands on the chest here, McDonald. So Hawthorn are out of trouble. Kicks it back here where Collins picks the ball up. Has to kick hurriedly. He does so. Back towards the front edge of the centre square. Chance now. Over the top of the ball there for Collingwood. Crashed into the ground. Williams is not Williams out there. It's right. Can't get it. Rocker comes out. His hand pass has been intercepted by Tallis. He kicks the ball back. It's up the true centre-half forward position here now as we see Hawthorn coming forward. Picked up by Deere. Gives it across to this man, Jarman. He'll do something positive here, and you can bet your life on it because he's hit Dunstall on the chest. Well, fantastic play. Here's slamming Sam Kegovich, then Stephen Quartermain on Magic 693.
Well, it just shows you, Kevin, at this level, you've just got to make the most of your opportunities. Collingwood squandered a golden opportunity. Christian should have goaled. The intercept took place, and when guys like Jarman and this guy on shooting for goal now have got the ball, put down your glasses.
Yeah, 5 goals to Jason Dunstall. He's drilled that one. So, from the National 9 News scoreboard, it's Hawthorn 10-8-69, leading Collingwood 3-8-26. Ricky Dixon at the MCG.
Just started the last quarter here, Steve, and it's still Carlton by 40 points, 9-12-66. North Melbourne 3-8-26. Big Berry around at the Optus Oval.
Three-quarter time still here. The players just about to resume. It's Essendon by 102 points. 21-8, 134. St Kilda 5-2-32, and Tommy Hafey ate all the scones and biscuits at half-time.
Find that hard to believe.
Let's go to Matty Rendell down there covering the big Sydney game.
Thank you, Kevin. It's nearly three-quarter time here, and Adelaide lead by 11 points. Excuse me, 11-14-80 to the Swans, 9-15-69. Back to you.
And Cooper's got the ball at half-forward for the Hawks. He kicks it out to the half-forward flank where Nick Holland's got about 25 metres on any Collingwood opponent. Holland now centres the ball into the goal square, backing back. Can't take the Marcus Krasiska. And the ball goes over the line for a throw-in the forward pocket. Small scoreboard end, in fact, right in front of the small scoreboard here at Waverley Park. It's Hawthorn 10-8-68. 7 goals in front of Collingwood, 3-8-26. Dunstall's got 5.
He just threw the grasses, looking at a number of Collingwood players. An expression of resignation on their faces too. Quarters.
Richardson deep in the back pocket for Collingwood. Gets the ball, kicks it to the half-back flank on the outer side, and the ball goes over the line for a throw-in.
Well, John Platten, I would think, be one of the favourites to win the Nomad Telecommunications digital phone. Of course, Nomad are the digital specialist. And see Gary Parker's here, along with Lynn Webster. Just love their football. Great supporters of Magic Football on 693.
Ball back into play in the ruck. It's Deere against Rocker. Deere got a tap to that. Now to Jarman. Jarman, has that been ruled a throw? It has.
And to all those Collingwood supporters listening through 6NR in Perth, Well, keep tuned. I tell you what, if they can get up and win this, it'll be one of the great comebacks.
Williams at half-back's got the ball for Collingwood. He kicks the ball into the centre square. The mark's taken by Krasiska, who's run down the field. Krasiska now trying to lift his team, drives it into the 50-metre arc, but backing back and taking a very good mark considering the conditions is Ray Jenke. Jenke plays on straight away, on the left foot, kicks the ball to Holland, another mark for him. He throws the ball on the right foot, kicks it to the wing position. Deer's there for Hawthorn, also Richardson for Collingwood. Richardson to Williams. Williams been a good player for the Magpies. Now Graham Wright's got the footy. Again, he drives it to half forward. Brereton's there, so's Holland. Good shepherd there by Taylor. Holland looks for the boundary line and finds it. So it's a throw-in, half-forward line for Collingwood out of side. They trail 10-8-68 to 3-8-26.
Let's go to the count. Here's Paul Kelly to give us the best on paper.
Well, Jarman 19 kicks, 6 handballs. Holland 8 kicks, 6 handballs, 10 marks.
And what about for the Pies?
For the Pies, Paul Williams is doing exceptionally well, 16 and 6 KB.
Mick McGuan?
He has 12 and 7.
Well, he's been one of the few at midfield who has really tried to stop this onslaught of Jarman and Platten. Crawford's been a good player. Cooper's been a good player.
Cooper's had 17 kicks, 5 marks, 1 handball.
So we've got a boundary throw in here. It's on the Collingwood forward line. It's on the 50-metre mark. So we've got young James in front, pushed out of the way there by Holland, who kicks the ball along the boundary line, but it's been marked out here by Watson. So Watson of Collingwood's got a loose man. He goes back to Severio Rocker and he's marked. That'd be his first mark, I take it, Paul?
No, that's his third mark, actually.
Third. Okay, it's been so long in between drinks for Severio, and look at him go with this big bomb, B-52, into the goal square. Chance for the Pies, kicked off the ground here by Rowe. It's off target, and it's through for 1 point. I think before, Keka, you suggested that the last goal kicked by Collingwood was at the 3-minute mark of the second quarter. So if we take the second quarter as a whole quarter, because it was so early, the third, they might go nearly 3/4 of football here without kicking a goal.
Distinct possibility.
So Collins with the ball, kicks up towards the half-back flank for Hawthorn, taken by Mick McGuan, gets the ball out to Brereton and just tries to crash his way through. Handball's back here, good play, he gets it out towards James, that's Aaron James, back to Hassel, but the kick's a poor one. And marking on his chest is McDonald, a most improved player, comes away, gives it across to Robin, just chips it out in front, and Robin, a likely looking athlete, comes away onto that left boot, kicks down towards the edge of the centre square. Big Deer goes up, quick kick out of the pack by Jarman, goes down to where we see Hudson, he's got the run of the ball, he's about 60 metres out, he balks, stops, comes back, picked up by Platten. Now Platten's hard up on the boundary line, centres the ball, looking for Dunstall, he's got him! Wonderful vision by the Rat. Terrific, call it telepathy if you like. He just knew exactly what Dunstall wanted to do. He held onto the ball, waited for the lead, popped it out in front, and Dunstall just slid into the ball and took a very fine chest mark.
Well, you're right, KB. Amazing ball distribution in these conditions. And another telling possession gained by Jarman in heavy traffic to open it up.
Well, he's kicked 5 goals, Jason Dunstall, in very tough conditions. This kick is on its way, he's off target and through for 1 point. So he kicked 1 goal in the first term, 3 goals in that great third quarter, and he's kicked 1 in this last term. Let's go back to the MCG, Ricky Nixon.
Nearly the 7-minute mark here, KB, and Carlton lead by 40 points, 10-12, 72, North Melbourne 4-8, 32, Barry round at the Optus Oval.
5-minute mark of the last quarter, and Essendon continue. 23-8, 146, St Kilda 5-3, 33, Matty in Sydney.
17 points in favour of Adelaide at three-quarter time, 12-14, 86, Swans 9-15, 69, back to Waverley.
Crawford runs into an open goal, bang, Jarman got the ball in the centre, thumped it long. Crawford ran into an open goal. Sammy Kekovich, right. I'd in fact say now that the Hawks are home here at Waverley Park. 11-9, 75 Hawthorn, Collingwood 3-9, 27.
Well, I thought I had a broad, firm grasp of Queen's English and a pretty expansive. And I'm looking at Lee Matthews. Well, he's just absolutely shell-shocked, Lee. But I really did, I just feel as though I'm being repetition. The same things happening, repetition, I should say, the same things happening all the time. Hawthorn winning in midfield, Jarman, Platten, Deer, you name it, and up forward the opportunities are just making the most of them.
So back in the centre, it's Christian now in the ruck against Holland. Players dive on top of the footy. Platten's held high, should be a free kick, and another kick to John Platten.
And just looking at the Collingwood coaching box there, they've got all the electronic equipment, they've got the computers
laptop
there, they've got the laptops, but there's only one thing that remains a constant in league football. You've got to have players, and you've got to get it, and you've got to kick it through the big sticks. The rest, Suit yourself.
Platten kicks the ball to half forward, taken there by Burns for Collingwood. He thumps the ball to half forward for the Magpies. In front, good punch away by McDonald. Comes into the hands of Wild. He's tackled well by McDonald. Collingwood players dive on top of the footy. That's James. Good tackle by Collins. In there battling hard for the Hawks is Wood. Taken by Aaron James again. Little kick straight up in the air, rugby union style. Here's Severio Rocket trying to grab the footy. He's had a quiet day, but it's not his fault. Wild in there batting again. Sev Rocker slaps it out looking for Brereton. Now a chance for the Magpies. Picked up again by Aaron James. High kick, all from behind. Brett James flies, can't take the mark. Rowe tries to pick it up, but it's gone through for one behind. So Hawthorn 11-9-75, Collingwood 3-10-28.
And Kecker, I said there was 50,000 here. There is 40,615. I don't reckon they've counted the people out there in the outer up underneath that stand up there, because I reckon there's more than 40,000 here.
I still think they've got a couple of their own gates here, the AFL.
Oh, you can't say that.
All right, okay, retract.
Retract that.
Wright gives the ball to Brett James. Brett James, a banana goal. Has he kicked it? I think he has. He has. Well, the Magpies finally get a goal. Their last goal was 3 minutes into the second quarter, and at long last, Brett James has kicked a goal for the Magpies. They might not be the lowest score of all time against the Hawks. That's 4-12-36 back in 1961, the Magpies. They now move on to 4-10-34. Hawthorn are 11-9-75. Let's go around the grounds. Ricky Nixon at the G.
Kutafutis lines up for goal here for Carlton, and he's actually put it out in the full. So Carlton still lead by 34 points, 10-12-72. North Melbourne 5-8-38. Barry Round at the Optus Oval.
9-minute mark of the last quarter, and it's Essendon by 112 points. 23-8, 146, and Kilda 5-4-34. Matty and Sydney.
Swans still a chance. Just about to start the last quarter. They trail by 17 points. So Adelaide 12-14, 86 to the Swans 9-15, 69.
Well, here we've got Jarman. Just gets the ball back towards Platten. What a great duo they've been today. Picked up this time by Mick McGuan. Still trying his heart out. Gets it across to young Orchard. So he runs out of that centre square, kicks down towards the half-forward line. Up went Brett James. Couldn't take it. Picked up by Aaron James. From 45 metres out, the youngsters had a ping at the goal. He's off target and through for just 1 point.
Yeah, you got to commend Collingwood. They're chipping away, even though the game's out of their grasp.
Gee, they didn't chip away too good in that third quarter. I reckon Lee Matthews would be livid with the way that Hawthorn won the ball. Got in first for it. They were much more desperate than Collingwood. As we see Hawthorn kick the ball out wide. This man is a most improved player, Nick Holland.
Second most improved player in the competition.
Who's the most improved?
Stephen Alessio.
So it's been marked out here by Cooper. Gets the ball across here to the running Alex McDonald. Comes away from half back. Kicks inside 50. Out comes Dunstall. He's got Kelly on him now, playing in his 100th game. Bang! Crash goes Kelly. Kicks it off the ground. Out here towards Young, who just sockers it back like Maradona. Gives it across to McDonald, who goes short, and he's got Cooper by himself. Certainly one of the best players, Cooper. He's in the running for the Nomad Telecommunications digital phone, but his kick's been marked here, backing back by Burns. So Burns wants to play on quickly onto the left boot, kicks it out towards Watson, who just runs onto the ball, then kicks like a very tired player who can hardly lift his legs.
Exactly.
There. I think you're right. I think the Collingwood players are absolutely stuffed from the big game last week. It's on centre wing position, picked up by Rowe. He comes away, goes short. Here's a chance now for young Aaron James to slide onto the ball. Can't take the mark. In there over the top of it is Young of Hawthorn. So it's smack bang in the centre of the ground out here at Waverley. And we've got the Hawks on the National 9 News scoreboard. Got one of Channel 9's biggest stars with us in Slamming Sam Kekovich. 11-9-75. Collingwood 4-11-35. So 40 points to diff at the 13.5-minute mark. And you're listening to the Mitre 10 Big Game on Magic 693. Kevin Bartlett, Stephen Quartermain, Slamming Sam Kekovich, and the Count, Paul Callery. Here's Quarters, one of the biggest stars for Channel 10.
Yes, and it's just a tragedy that I'm not paid accordingly, KB, as the ball goes over the line for a throw-in on the outer wing.
Well, we had the head of Channel 9 on the program.
Yes, we did, and there has been further No, there hasn't. That was a joke.
He said you're too expensive.
Young's got the ball at half-back for Hawthorn. It's a high ball to no one in particular, but taking a very good mark for the Hawks is Alex McDonald, right in the true centre half-back position. McDonald's off and running, plays on straight away, goes short to Young. Young in turn handballs to Taylor on the outer wing. Taylor now thumps the ball to half-forward. Hudson's there leading the race for the ball against Burns, who's been probably Collingwood's second-best player, I reckon, this afternoon. He's been good, Burns, and he paddles the ball over the line for a throw-in. Half-forward line for the Hawks in front of the small scoreboard here at Waverley.
Well, what can you say? 15 minutes virtually playing out time, Collingwood, but there's no doubt that the 4 days' time to recover after that epic encounter against Eston has taken its toll on the Collingwood legs.
Ball is now at half-back for Collingwood, picked up by Graham Wright. Little right foot kick. Gee, a lot of the Magpies are looking tired, and that's fair enough considering their exploits on Tuesday. Mark taken by Graham at half-forward for the Hawks. Turns his back on play, should turn around and pump it long as soon as possible. Instead he goes short, and the lead is offered by Hudson, and he takes the mark about 48, 49 metres out from Hawthorn's goal.
Becoming more and more an important player in this Hawthorn machine is Paul Hudson, particularly at Waverley. He relishes the open spaces, and he really is, I believe, the only other viable option apart from Dunstall, because he covers plenty of territory. He's got exceptional skills both sides of the body.
Paul Hudson, he's got two. He's going to kick from 50 metres. It's into the goal square. Off hands, or is it a goal?
I think it's through, Stephen.
It is. It just made it, and that's Paul Hudson's third goal. So on the National 9 News scoreboard, it's Hawthorn 12-9-81. Collingwood looking pretty sick and sorry at 4-11-35. Ricky Nixon at the MCG.
Yes, and a sick and sorry North Melbourne as well. Carlton by 40 points, 11-12-78. North Melbourne 5-8-38. Barry Round, any better at the Optus Oval?
No better here at the 13-minute mark in the last quarter. Essendon by 118 points, 24-8-152. St Kilda 5-5-35. Matty in Sydney.
Just into the last quarter here in Adelaide by 16 points, 12-15-87, Swans 9-17-71. Back to Waverley.
So Platten grabs the ball, bursts out of the centre square, goes bang with a long bomb down onto the half-forward flank, but a free kick will go to Collingwood.
Very iffy one, Kevin, but nonetheless it was there in the technical sense, but I believe in the spirit of the game, I thought it could have been left alone.
Well, Burns has got it for the Pies, and he goes short, chips it over the top there to Kelly. So Kelly comes away. He'll remember his 100th game. Bad performance by the Pies. Brereton there appealing for the free. He's got one in the back. Dived on top of the ball. Holland's on hands and knees. He's hurt himself. Brereton gets up off the ground. He also looks very, very tired. But the free kick will come back here to Aaron James. So Aaron James of Collingwood moves in. It's a beautiful looking drop punt out towards the outer side of the ground. Rocker was the target at ground level. Orchard there had it, then was dispossessed. Picked up by Williams of the Pies. Screws it around the corner. It's off target, and the ball off hands goes over the line. When you look back, Kecker, only really 4 full days since that epic contest against the Bombers. The Bombers, an easy game today against St Kilda at Optus Oval, probably not even being extended, but that tough game against the top opposition. I think the Pies have drawn the short end of the straw. Here's the count, Paul Callery.
Paul Williams has run all day. He's had 17 kicks and 6 handballs, KB.
So here he goes again. He kicks it off the ground. Paul then has another kick. Kicks it once more into the forward pocket. This time it's off the side of his boot and out of bounds on the full. Well, don't forget next Saturday on Magic 693, we've got exclusively the big game between Collingwood and Richmond at the MCG. I reckon there'll be 80,000 there to see the great game between the two traditional rivals, and you can only hear that game on Magic, so we look forward to your company there. As Brereton trying to crash his way through, gets a short kick in, picked up by Alex McDonald for Hawthorn, kicks the ball back to the edge of the centre square. Here's a chance now for Stevenson to just paddle the ball along, can't do so, picked up by Wright, a great trier, kicks the ball out wide, and sliding on the ball out here is Watson. Couldn't take the mark, but gets the ball back to Wild, who kicks it off the ground, goes up towards the half-forward line. Williams runs onto the ball, he runs to 50, he's caught, dragged to the ground, picked up down here by Woods. So Woods of Hawthorn gets the ball out on top of the ball down there, falling over was Young, and he pushes the ball over the line. Here's Stephen Quartermain.
We've gone 18.5 minutes in the final quarter. It's Hawthorn on the National 9 News scoreboard. 12-9-81, Collingwood 4-11-35. Ball back into play. Cooper for Hawthorn, one of their best players. Little left foot kick to half-back. Graham dropped the mark but recovered well. Handballs over the top to the man who's been best on the ground today. No question about that for mine, and that's John Platten. He goes short and finds eventually Young, who takes the mark on the second bite. Young plays on. Great running play here. This is Nick Holland. He's also been a sensational player for the Hawks. Great stuff. Holland now pumps the ball long. Dunstall! Great mark, Dunstall. And Nick Holland, KB, for a guy that's been a busy player all day, ran from the back line. That was great running, disciplined play from the young kid.
Well, he's rucked all day. He's rucked all day for the Hawks, and he's done a great job. He only played a couple of games last year. Looked just out of it last year. Just
slow.
Yeah, the pace of the game. But
he's done a lot of work on his running over the summer.
Over summer he's got stronger, bigger, quicker, and he's been very impressive in every game this year. Here's quarters on Magic.
Dunstall's got 5. Make it 6. Hawthorn, 13,987. Collingwood, 4:11.35. Ricky Nixon back at the MCG.
18-minute mark of the final quarter, and it's still Carlton by 40 points. 11-12-78. North Melbourne 5-8-38. Barry Round at the Optus Oval.
17 minutes gone in the last quarter, and it's Essendon by 118 points. 24-10, 154. St Kilda 5-6-36. Matty in Sydney.
3 quick goals to the Swans has put them in front. They lead by 2 points. 12-17-89. Adelaide 12-15-87 in a thriller here at the SCG.
Well, I tipped that as we see from that centre bounce. Compliments of Mike Williamson. We see Rocker there, but taken away by Young of Hawthorn. Punts the ball back. Coming out with the flow of the ball this time was Graham. Overruns it. Now coming in and picking the ball up. Good play by Pritchard. Gets it back to Stevenson. Stevenson onto that left boot. Kicks out wide. And Dunstall's there. He couldn't take it on the third grab. Kelly's there. Just really trying to worry him out of it. Strong play, but he overruns the ball. It comes back. Here's a chance. Crawford has a long ping at the goals. He's off target and through for just a minor score. Just the one calico to be flapping into the breeze. Hawthorn supporters are clapping. And we've got on the National 9 News scoreboard. This is a very good win by Hawthorn. A decisive win. 13-10-89. Collingwood 4-11-35. That's still their lowest score against Hawthorn, isn't it, Kecker?
Yeah, they're a point short. Which
So
was in 1961, 4-12.
Well, we've played 21 minutes in this final term, so can the Magpies at least get another couple of points on the board? And we see coming back here and taking the mark is Brereton. He's on the edge of the centre
Quite hard
square
all day.
and kicks the ball up towards the forward line. Coming out is Jenke in front, punches the ball away down there from Brett James. Good backing up here, sees Pritchard, gets the ball across the Woods. Backing up well is Alex McDonald. Looks like he may have found his niche across that half-back flank. Gets the ball across to Cooper. He's been a star. Kicks the ball out wide and finds Deere. So Paul Deere comes away onto the left boot. Dunstall's his target. Good play by Kelly. Got his fist to the ball, trying to crash his way through. Good play here by Hassel. Comes away from the half-back flank. Carved up today by Johnny Platten. Been banished into defence. And the ball has been marked here by Williams, who's got a loose man smack bang in the centre of the ground. It's Krasiska. He's off and running. He also had a lot of difficulty with Dunstall today. Now kicks on the half, up to the half-forward line. Brereton went up, just unceremoniously dumped out there Jason Taylor. Collingwood still with a chance. Aaron James down there, beaten once more by McDonald, and he's happy to just push the ball over the line and out of bounds. Let's go back to the MCG. Here's the president.
Well, there's not much happening, KB. It's still 40 points of difference. 21 minutes into the final quarter. Hopefully it's exciting at Optus Oval, Barry.
Very much so. That's, if they had lights here, they'd have them on. I tell you, it's dark. It's 20 minutes gone, and it's Essendon 117 points in front. 24-10, 154 to St Kilda 5-7-37 to Matty in Sydney.
9 points in favour of the Swans here. 13-18-96 to the Adelaide Crows 12-15-87. Back to Waverley.
And Michael Christian's taken a mark 35 metres out from goal, directly in front. So Christian has a shot at goal. It's going to be close. It's home for 1 point. 13-10-88 Hawthorn. Collingwood 4-12-36, and that in fact does equal Collingwood's lowest score against Hawthorn. 23.25 minutes gone in this final quarter. Kicking out for the Hawks is Robram. Brereton's there against Taylor, both over there, those men's heads, taken by Graham. Little handball to no one in particular. Brereton again slaps it on to Aaron James. He's been busy in this last quarter. James, a left foot kick, Rocker in the goal square, cart mark, off hands, and through for another behind for the Magpies. So it's 13-10-88, Collingwood 4-13-37. And we've gone almost 24 minutes.
Well, to demonstrate how comprehensively Hawthorn has dealt with Collingwood today, since half-time, they've kicked 10 goals to the Pies 1.
Yes, the most emphatic display of wet weather football. They've been vastly superior after half-time. Just had all the answers. Collingwood, unfortunately.
Jenke's kick out finds Graham at half-back. Little handball to Young. Great tackle by Williams, who's been Collingwood's best. Shane Crawford, another handball over the top to Jarman, who's also been a wonderful player for the Hawks. He chips the ball to half-forward. Pritchard now will bang it long, looking for Dunstall in front of Craig Kelly. Great mark, Jason Dunstall. He's kicked 6, and now he'll be lining up for number 7. So you've got Craig Kelly, the marketer of the top 25, and you've got Jason Dunstall in the club 10. A little bit of rivalry there on and off the field. Jason had a few things to say about Craig Kelly the other week on the footy show.
What did he say?
Well, he just gave a bit of a teasing to Craig Kelly, nothing too Nothing too serious, but there's a bit of rivalry at the moment, KB, between the Club 10 boys and the Club 25 boys.
Here's the count, Paul Callery.
Jason Dunstall, 11 kicks, 7 marks, and 6 goals at the stage.
Dunstall coming in for goal number 7, and he's missed to the left. Craig Kelly, of course, today playing his 100th game. And Andy Collins for the Hawks playing his 150th consecutive game. That's the 8th on the list of all-time record. KB, how many? You had 2 lots of about 170, didn't you?
I had one of 178 and one of 150.
Yeah.
So you've got to be pretty darn lucky to not have someone fall across your leg and injure you so you don't miss a game. So I was very, very lucky, Stephen, as we see the ball marked out here by Hawthorn. It was taken here by Cooper. He's been superb. Kicks into the forward pocket. And this man, I think he's going to win the Nomad Telecommunications Player of the Day. I could be wrong, but Johnny Platten has marked.
Not with the system you've implemented or the one you use, the formula.
What's that formula?
Well, that despotic approach to voting, where yours only counts.
That's a disgrace to say that. Johnny Platten has had a long shot and threw for 1 point.
29 kicks, KB, to Platten.
29 kicks. How many touches altogether, Paul? And 1%ers for
He's had 4 handballs and he's had 16 1%ers.
Cool. 16 1%ers. Well, he's been superb. As we see Kelly kicks the ball out, goes straight up the centre. High flyer out there was Graham Wright for the Pies. The back of the pack taken by Jarman. Kicks the ball back here. Out comes Kelly. Showed plenty of strength. Picked up here by Burns. And he goes bang. Thumps the ball out of defence as far as he can. It's been under fierce pressure all day, but it's taken by Tony Woods. Playing against his old side for Collingwood as he now with the Hawthorn Guernsey gets the ball back here. So Woods once more receives from Pritchard, comes away and gets the ball out wide, looking for it out here and picking it up is Young, so he balks, gets around, chance now to go back to Pritchard, so plenty of run in the Hawks' legs, gets the ball back to Deere, so Deere now kicks, he's looking for Dunstall, in front is Kelly, punched away at ground level, picked up by Crawford, a tremendous player Crawford, and he just rams it home. Goal number 14 for the Hawks. Oh, this is an absolute thrashing in these conditions. He's booted 2 goals. We've played 27 minutes on the National 9 News scoreboard. Hawthorn of 14-12, 96. Collingwood 4-13, 37. And, well, Kecker, all we can say, the positives about Hawthorn is that often we think they're on the way out and then all of a sudden these young kids come up. Crawford's been a star. Nick Holland's looking to be a superb player. And all of a sudden Platten, who many thought maybe might have been on the decline, is getting best on grounds. Here's Quarters.
Ball kicked to half forward for the Magpies. Brereton gets a push in the back by Taylor. Play on calls the umpire. Gee, a few of the players looking very tired from both sides. And Tony Woods, in his first senior game for the Hawks, the former Magpie, sees the ball over the line, nearing the wing position here on the members' side.
Paul Callery, Nathan Buckley and Michael McGuan, the amount of possession in the last quarter. Have you penciled in their name at all?
Yes, Buckley 1, McGuan 2 handballs.
Well, you can give another kick to Nathan Buckley as he drives the ball to half forward. Brett James is in front, thumped away by Ray Jenke, and the ball goes over the line, half forward line for the Magpies members' side.
Actually, if a bloke hasn't had a kick, all you've got to do is say, can you check the stats on Nathan Buckley? And as soon as you read them out, bang, they get a kick.
Yeah,
so that's what happens.
Invariably what happens. But I've been watching both the players. They do look just jaded and tired.
Aaron James grabs the ball out of the ruck as Dermot Brereton has a run at Ray Jenke, but Jenke offloads the handball. Now a chance here for Wild for Collingwood. He slaps it in front of him, so does Jarman, and he sees the ball over the line for another throw-in, still half-forward line for the Magpies. It's Hawthorn 14-12, 96, Collingwood 4-13, 37. We've gone 28 minutes and 40 seconds here in the final quarter at Waverley Park. Ball back, thrown in. It's Aaron James against Nick Holland. Coming through as best on ground, John Platten. Another kick for him. He kicks the ball into the centre to Deere, who's been a fantastic player since he's come on the ground, and a lot of the bullocking work. Hassle's there for Collingwood, so is Wright. He tries to kick it off the ground. Hot on his heels is Cooper. Cooper, in fact, gets a big foot to the ball. Kicks it about 20 metres towards Hawthorn goal. Cooper again kicks the ball off the ground. There's another stat, and eventually the ball goes over the line for a throw-in. Half-forward line for the Hawks, outer side. Let's go round the ground. Ricky Nixon at the MCG.
Final siren here, Steve, and Carlton convincing winners by 34 points. North kicked a couple of late goals, but Carlton 12-12, 84, defeated North Melbourne 7-8, 50, very round at the Optus Oval.
Final siren just gone here too, Ricky. It wasn't a draw this week. Essendon won by 116 points. 24-10, 154. St Kilda 5-8, 38. Matty in Sydney.
Yes, we've got 9 minutes to go in the last quarter, and Swans lead by, 18 points, 14-21, 105 to Adelaide, 12-15, 87.
And Stevenson's kicked the ball a half forward with the marks taken by Graham for the Hawks about 40 metres out, 45 metres out directly in front. The siren sounded, so it's all academic here, but a chance for Hawthorn to register their 15th goal of the game. Mark Graham can have a shot from goal directly in front from 45. There's the kick. It's a drop punt. It's just veering off at the last minute. In fact, just stopped on the line by Gavin Krasiska. So no score. So that's the end of the game here at Waverley Park, and an emphatic win to the Hawks by 59 points. 14-12-96 to Collingwood's 4-13-37. And some pretty tired-looking Collingwood players making their way off the ground.